pusing.
Dia dah sikit. Kalau ikut yang kuning ni dia dah sikit.
Tu nampak salah besar ni kecil.
Sebab kita
Zoom kan?
kita buat ni micro. Dia nampak sana besar sana sini sikit.
What do you expect? You overstayed. Overstayed. Isn't it obvious?
Om, ada orang kat sana lagi? Om,
Ada.
kat sana ada siapa lagi?
Last minute we get.
So we can use both sides. We do not need to allocate one for the woman and one for the man, tak apa. Boleh. There's no separation here. OP Bahar mungkin boleh duduk depan, sir. Biasa you duduk depan, tak biasa duduk belakang, tolong. Duduk depan, tolong depan. Dia tadi OP Bahar masa tengah breakfast dia tengok sudu garpu dia plastik. Kita kata mas exco je yang boleh dapat sudu garpu besi. Kalau dah tak jadi memang pakai plastik lah.
That's how easily you are forgotten. I think you just realized it. Remember always after teachers.
Okay, good morning gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Now it's 9:40, and then based on our records, we have more than 30 OPs in attendance, so that satisfies our kita minimum quorum. So with that, we can officially start our AGM ke 54, so the 54th AGM. So again, thank you so much everyone for attending this meeting very early in the morning. I understand the nasi lemak was the key motivation, and yes, we can stay on for the dinner as well later, please. So if we go to the notice that was sent out on the 12th of July, so today we'll just run through exactly as per the agenda that we have here. A small request sebab honorary secretary yang baru malas sikit, so dia nak susun minit tu dengan senang. So what we do after the meeting tu, we go through the records and then we try to listen and try to capture the meeting. So my personal request to senangkan kerja yang malas ni, we just discuss based on the agenda. So maknanya if you got things that you wanna ask while we are going through other agenda, I will take note, but we will capture it during the other matters. So that masa meeting tu, masa the minute, going through the minute, we don't discuss the previous minute in detail, but we keep it and discuss it a bit more in the other matters. So that one is just a bit more of the housekeeping rules for the AGM today. So straight, I'll just run through a bit. The agenda for today will go with President's opening address, then we'll get the confirmation of the last minutes of the last AGM. We'll be presenting the activity report, And the activity report will be up to the 10th July lah, which is just last month. We will also have the presentation and the request for approval of the balance sheet and the accounts. And we'll talk about the newly elected office bearers and committee members. And we'll talk about the honorary internal auditors, external auditors, board of appeal, and then the most exciting part, other matters, before we close with the president's remarks. So without further ado, sir, I know you are still drafting your speech. But I would like to pass the floor to you, sir, please, for your opening remarks.
Thank you, Honorary Secretary. How much time do I have? I threatened him with pumping. Selamat pagi, selamat datang, salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. OP past presidents. We also have our commandant with us today, OP Saiful Azwar. Budak boys, these are the senior people from RMC. Super seniors, OPs, young OPs. Firstly, welcome to the 54th AGM of the OPA. I was elected to presidency on the 2nd of September 2023, filling up or trying to fill the bigger shoe of our immediate past president, OP Baurudin. Dr. Bah, can you please stand up and acknowledge? His prison sentence was 6 years, and with good behavior we let him off. And now I'm taking over his position. And I know in the less than 1 year I know what you have gone through. All the cold nasi lemak, the noodles. Last time was leko ikan or whatever it is, right? And spending a lot of time putting effort into our beloved association, the OPA. I also noticed the usual regulars that turn up for most events, and a lot of you are quite regulars, but I want to single out perhaps 3 who I noticed presence in our midst. Not necessarily in any particular order. I don't know who is older or younger than the other when they join RMC. I think OP Shahruddin Ali. Minta you please stand up lah. Okay, kaki sakit lah. Okay. The other one is Yang Mulia Raja Aziz. Of course, our Colonel Raymond Goh, somewhere at the back, a prolific writer and always prepared to stand up and to be counted. And of course, although maybe he's not the oldest, but the length of his beard suggests that he can be quite old. Azmi, Hamid Billy. Yes?
We were classmates in Form 3. We were sitting together until today.
Betul ni partners in crime lah. Yeah. I think they sit next to each other because they make sure the other don't spill their secrets. And of course, Upi Azmi, the late brother Arwah Azman, was actually my batch, and unfortunately the first to go. So I'm still within the probationary period. Okay, one more. I think the person who traveled the furthest is OP Yo Kin Jun. Please, Kin Jun, please stand up. I will say a few things about what good work he's done in Singapore in glorifying the OPA and RMC with a number in my main facts. And not to dilute your importance, thank you very much for your presence, because without you, all of us sitting up here, tak ada quorum, we'll be eating nasi lemak saja and then go home after that. So thank you very much for being here. In the 11 months, I try and reflect on what the RMC spirit is all about. It's very interesting that this spirit permeates and cut across the generations. I think maybe 3 generations have gone in, people that we know and we do not know. What binds the various batches, the company mates, the classmates together? And I think maybe I could percolate it into 2 important factors. One, I think, is gratitude. I think during my era, and I think it probably applies to most of it, where there were no television, no Wi-Fi, no mobile phone, either we accidentally apply to the college or someone gives us that application form, not knowing what we sign on. I was one of those who signed the Army candidate form actually without understanding what it is. And went up for interview, which was very rigorous, first time experience. And then finally being selected, going into the dormitory to find this running water and flushing toilet, right? Those were luxuries those days, no Wi-Fi yet. And then being given free uniform, the best education, the best training that we can get. In some way, subconsciously, there is this value of gratitude that's embedded in us. And amongst all those good things is to be able to network and mix with all our batchmates and our company mates. It cuts across all racial, creed, and religious lines. I remember on Sundays I'm a Buddhist, on Friday evening I'm a Hindu, and on Sunday times I'm a Christian so that I can jump into the truck and go and try and date a girl from Convent Bukit Nalas. At that time I got no interest in St. John's institution because I was not interested in boys. So I think that's something which is ingrained with us. In my deep analysis, that's the thing that binds the spirit. And today, some of my closest friends, actually, my batch, in particular my company, I only play I play my regular job with Dato Baka. Tomorrow I'm flying first flight to London because a couple of my batchmates are waiting for me there to play golf and paying for my ticket. This is the spirit that you cannot explain. And one of the things I learned in college, coming from a traditional Chinese family, from rags moving to riches. My father was a class B contractor at that time, but I could see he was pretty poor in his time, doing menial jobs as a subcontractor, rising to the thing. We were quite, what you call, spendthrift. Kita tak tahu bagi. But when I went to RMC, because of the various strata of boys that come from, some are middle class, some rich, some professional, I'm beginning to understand the word giving. And in particular, my Malay batchmates were very generous. Kalau I'm short of money, they'll give me money or lend me money. And that's where I learned also now how to give. So I think all these values that is embedded in us, we carry it along that line. And it is only that gratitude and giving, I think I have to give acknowledgement to all my exco here. Please put your hands together, exco. I can take criticism, but I'm also prepared to defend. I think the whole of this week, all of them, most of them will be here until 1, if not before that. Right? Most other organizations would ask, we call dinner organizers or party planners to plan this, but they choose to take it in their own hands to organize something, and I think it should be spectacular at the dinner tonight. Because kalau ada party planner coming in, they won't understand our military tradition. Okay, we can make sure that we put in a relatively good show for our commandant here. And I think he's so generous in volunteering some of his boys to do fatigue duty So tonight you might get to see, you know, the flying fox and the leopard crawl, and maybe a bit of jumping, you know. And so when I try and strategize coming from the corporate sector, I say, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve for RMC, OPs going forward? Because it's not easy to try and improve and enhance on the work and the good work of the past president. We got OP Bah here. I think we got OP Termisi here also, past president. Tolong berdiri, tegak sikit. There he is. Ini ada past president here. I think, of course, OP Shahrudin is the first, but if you count the pro tem, I think it's number 2 lah. Okay, all these people have laid the groundwork, sacrificing their time, and I know if I've accepted a nomination 10 or 12 years ago and successful, it would have been tough because we have daytime jobs. Our shareholders, our board of directors expect us to spend time with the company. Our family too, especially those growing up, we also need to spend time. So you have an exco here and look at them, all of them are below 50. All of them have no time, sorry, right? Yet I know my only secretary take on 2 jobs. One as HS1 for OPA, but he's also the president of the TKC Old Girls Association. Put your hands together. Sir, I think his attitude, bini satu saja, tapi Old Girls Association boleh 2 lah. The wife fully supports that before he gets distracted. So I then decided to use the most fashionable word in crafting the strategy, and it's called a 5G. Okay, it's too long to read. I'll just capture a few nuggets of what I'm trying to say, but it is in my foreword. It's 2 pages long. Let's say if you have time to read it. It's something I write for my shareholders lah, so the share price go up 10 cents, I become a little bit richer, right? But here got no money involved. But I still wanted to elaborate on what my 5G means. I could have put 7G, but the other 2G has to be silent outside this room. One is the G spot, and the other is the G string. Tapi kita pakai green saja, kan? So the first G, as I mentioned, is gratitude, which I've explained a little bit. It is the spirit, especially Asian culture of spirit of gratitude, yeah? Because we are thankful to God, thankful to your parents, thankful for your uncles, thankful for your relative, and in RMC case, thankful to our friends and our batches, thankful also to the authorities. And I can't think any higher up than the commandant who actually has to set the pace and the tone. And I must say, in Commandant Azwa is called Aijin. The spirit is very positive, Commandant. I have not sat with you to engage you. I know there are a few things in your mind. I try and help when I come back from London. Let's have a game of golf now, because when I first know you was, I think, during fasting month. That gratitude is very important. As long as we have that, I think always we try and repay the deeds and the good things that was given to us. The second is about giving. I think all religion, everyone talks about giving. And as I said, that's my first lesson in giving. And as a young kampung boy from Kluang, people give me things. I've got batches. I still remember the late Dr. Hamza, Anna Halim was my batch. For those in the medical profession, his brother was Dr. Haris Hamza. He was the richer one, right? The parents come, they always make food. D company, and he shares his food. So this is a very simple example of giving. But some of you may or may not know, in giving, some of the OPs have done tremendous job. I'll just give you an example. Some of you may not know. This is a story when you join lunches or those you start to pick up. There's 1 year, 3 years my junior, a chap called OP Tan King Singh. He became SEO of B company. Not too difficult to become SEO of those days, because by the time the lower six, half of them got scholarship. you will see people being moved from one company to the other because the talents of this company, right? I think Kinsing was B company. He was not an exported item lah. He was there. And again, I think at dinner sometimes he expressed this gratitude. There, I think his first degree was civil engineering take up McGill. I think King Jun may be able to elaborate if I'm wrong. And then he decided to do a postgraduate degree. And he visited some of our OPs dekat in Boston. Now, 1 year my senior, this is the 68 batch, 4 of them, history, RMC history, 3 went into MIT, 1 went into Harvard. King Jun, am I correct? Because my super buddy was the one that went into Harvard. All of them on full scholarship. Okay, we never look at America because those days you only look at UK. Some people even rejected Australia and especially New Zealand because they don't know where the place is. And they all go to UK. And this is the first batch that managed to get into RMC. And I still remember RMC is the only college in Malaysia with a coding when they sit for the achievement test in the SAT. That's how much even the Americans are being recognized as. So anyway, when he went there, he contacted some of this OP. I think this OP is already left. And they put him out in Boston. He has nowhere to stay. They put him out and they advised him to go to MIT, which he did. So this is something, again, a question of gratitude. 50, 60 years ago when I went to UK, it was someone who picked me up. You don't know anything about UK, you travel Aeroflot or whatever it is, can you do it? And like you go there. You don't know how to take the train, but someone somewhere was there to help. Okay, there's good people there. So I think because you're part of an OP organization, you can rely on them. So this is one example. My batch, I think a lot of you will know, we have a benevolent fund. We have one particular OP, doesn't want to be known, always anonymous. He puts 1 ringgit for every ringgit that we raise. And we have something like 700,000 sitting in the bank, managed by 3 of the OPs. We never think whether the money will go away or whatever it is. But every time one of our batch, sakit ka, hospital ka, or the 5,000 goes to this person's family without any questions asked. Another example of giving. So when you receive, then you realize you also need to give. So I think that's one thing that also binds us together. And not because King Jun is here. I was invited 2 weekends ago to receive a trophy and memento from the President of Singapore. No less, not President of OPA, not President of PKC. This is the President of Singapore. And I don't know how he did it. This is RMC Intuition Initiative. Somehow he wrangled a seat for me on the same table as President Tana. And 30 of us, we are college tie, right, was there. Some very senior, some very accomplished OPs that some of you may not know because left college some time ago. They were all there to support, including CEO of KPJ, Dr. Razak. Every event where they have monthly lunches, he will drive from JB to come and join them. That's the RMC spirit. Can't explain, but it's probably the first G and now the second G, which is giving. And how much did the OPs in Singapore raise? I won't give you a big number, in case income tax is here. 1.92 million, I remember. Okay, they could all give their own money in their own name, but they choose to put RMC OP, Yeo King Jun Fund, for example. And that's why the college was recognized in Singapore. And that's why the people who are raising fund says, what's your wish list, I think. The only thing they won't allow me is to add on to my golf handicap that afternoon. So luckily rain, like cricket they say, rain stops playing. So this is another example of giving. And the other thing, over dinner the next day, hosted by no less than OPO Ng Keng Hui, the global CEO of AIA. whose combined market cap when he was the CEO is bigger than the combined market cap of 3 of the biggest banks in Singapore, because they're listed in Hong Kong. People don't know. So if you combine DBS Bank market cap, UOB and OCBC, he runs outfit which is bigger than all 3 of them combined. And last time I spoke to him, he was jumping onto his private jet to watch the final European Cup between Liverpool and Spurs. You think Spurs the AIA kan? I told him I'm sorry lah, I'm not coming with because I support Liverpool. And at that dinner table, it was quite spontaneous. They all say, now they've raised money for the Singapore universities and some Malaysian universities. They are prepared to fund any OPs, any anak-anak OP that make it. At first they say Ivy League lah, because some of them American kan, like Wong Keng Keong, he's 2 degrees from MIT, a PhD from Imperial, but doing part-time law, Oxford, and became the chairman of Baker McKenzie. He never practiced chemical engineering. And he was helped actually to get this OP network. Apparently when he finished his first and second degree from MIT in chemical engineering, he got a teaching post at UPM. And that time, the vice chancellor was Suhaimi Arifin. I remember that name because masa tu dia head of science in my time. So because the OP said, okay lah, I send you to Imperial College, right? I mean, Imperial College is a tough place. He did his law, Oxford University law, that's in 2 years. So kita pun ada brain lah, not just kaki saja, right? And the other person who we give a lot of credit, and I think he's not well, is Major Floyd Fernandez. The number of OPs that got scholarship, including 1 year my senior, Dato' Go Boon Huat. He joined the Armed Forces Medical Corps. I think he went to Oxford and Cambridge to do his postgraduate medical. Because dia nampak, I know Go, he's my class. So this is the network. I think all of you can understand because you guys are present. What he said is the younger OPs, those who just graduated, not here to listen to what I have to say. I mean, why are we all here? Spending a Saturday morning, I could be on the golf course and all that. Because of gratitude, because of this value called giving. So it's a self-help, the independent and positive spirit, serve-to-lead spirit that really binds it together. So I really talk about the 2 Gs. So in my presidency, first I want to emphasize and strengthen gratitude and giving, and in doing so, we have now formed 5 subcommittees, so that the EXCO don't get burdened down. Okay, the first subcommittee is the Education Standards Review Committee. I have enough people now to form that committee, and I want it to be independent. Only 2 EXCO members will sit on the committee for reporting purposes and knowing what's going on. At least 3 will be selected from OPs, those with the experience. So, for instance, Education Standard, one of the first to volunteer was Tan Sri Shafi Abdullah. If you don't agree with him, put up your hands down so I can eject him. But for him, so busy, he doesn't wake up for less than 1 million ringgit. He volunteered because he can see the standard dropping. That's one. Education Standard Review Subcommittee. Yang number 2, to refer. Number 2 is the Sports Excellence Committee. Sports Excellence. We could see our standard junior sports was sliding, but more recently, I think we have done well. I think maybe later we might get Komandan just to give us an update. And part of that, our rugby did well because someone donated itu machine apa tu, what do you call that machine, the scrum machine. So I said, actually for a little bit more money, we can do a lot more. We can actually pay to get experienced coaches. Kalau nak squash, I just call my old friend lah, Datuk Nicole David. Kalau nak badminton, maybe a friend, Lee Chong Wei. Those are possibilities, but we are always constrained by perhaps money, right? And it's not a lot of money. So we have one OP that actually bought those machines. So as a consequence, I think our RAPI has gone up. We are the wilayah champion, yeah. Betul lah? Huh? Oh, wonderful. So I must say a few words. Hey, by the way, if you say this, my speech is boring, please say so. Tonight I'm going to repeat. You know when you go out and smoke, no, I'm practicing because tadi only prepare, I think in my mind. At my age, need waking up, and I haven't got my caffeine yet, my coffee. So I've got 2 already, sports excellence. Yang tiga, help me explore. Third one is the welfare, okay, the welfare fund. You see, there were accusation, criticism, say the money goes into OPA, they don't know what they do with it, and that sort of thing, and some people accused maybe the exco, having a good time and all that. So I wanted more focus. The welfare fund, we can see every time in our chat group, so and so has an accident, he needs money, he needs all this, and we're all doing a bit like gotong royong. So I want it a little bit more, more structured. Fund goes in, and they have a drop the criteria how this will be given, not unlike the 69 benevolent fund. This category done. Second marriages all don't count. Okay, not allowed. No allowances given, no concession. But we give all this. Betul. Recently I was in Saujana, Johor, where the OP Ghazi was so kind enough to host the iftar, right? I think OP Kinjun was there, and they trolley OP Arwah Hafiz there. I mean, those are little touch points that can actually provoke or invoke the RMC spirit, going back to our days in college, where how one another helps one another, and the ragging really helped, because your shoe is not shining. All the others kena juga. You cannot get away on your own. And this, I think, is a spirit that's been carried through even to our post-RMC days. Okay? The 4th committee that's going to set up is the BNE. So we have individuals raising money. We have individuals, especially Singapore OPs, raising money. But perhaps it's time for them to look a bit into OPA. But there will no specific fund that I can put in where they can dictate and say these are the where my money should go to. We can always take that on board and put it in. Right? So that is for what is purpose, and we'll ring fence this money and say we can provide a different account for that so it does not get submerged into the greater OPA fund. Right? So that's and the 5th one is the this is the Constitution Review Subcommittee. That's led by, I'm not sure whether he volunteered, but I say if you don't volunteer, you take 20 claps to OP Baha. And he's done a great job. OP, take a bow, please. He very quickly formed that committee. I intended to be doing after this AGM, then we start serious work. And he's done the first part. That was a great, the good news. What hasn't come up is you haven't suggested the revolutionary changes. The first part was, I'm schooled by the late Michael Low. So firstly, the English, the drafting was not very good. I think it's cleaned that up. But I think essentially I wanted to do a few more things. One is, for instance, I get a bit confused when I enter the Exco. My understanding of Exco in my corporate life is a smaller group of influential senior directors that make quick decisions without convening a board meeting. Okay? So if I use the same similarity, it cannot be the whole, 16 or 12 of us become Exco. So I thought it's a good time to change the nomenclature a little bit by perhaps calling this the council, right? Most organization in Asia is the council. So then when you set up the Constitution Review Subcommittee, that actually should be the Constitution Review Committee. Because subcommittee macam downgrade lah, from JO become senior boy or, So so that, unless it's something not permitted by law, that's one of the things that I was thinking about OPA. I think we can do it the second round. So EXCO. So at the moment, if I wanted a private meeting, I have to call my office bearer, but there's no definition in the Constitution that talks about office bearer. But when I say office bearer, I think they know lah, VP, HS1, and treasurer. So even the word treasurer, HS1, VP, I think is timely for us to change. Why isn't the vice president a deputy president? The treasurer becomes VP finance, and you can create one more post, VP admin, or whatever. So we spread the load a little bit, right? It's calling the same thing, doing the same work, but the number a bit more canggih, okay? Huh? Yeah, betul. So we should consider. You got my hint lah, Chairman. All right. So let's look at that. I think we have a lawyer in your midst, so we should be able to handle that. The third is governance. Very quickly, governance is important when people give you money, so on and so forth. It's making sure it's all accounted for. All right, and that's something which I'm very, very, very particular about. The fourth G is about galvanize, gelling all of you together. Usually the same people attend Hari Raya Open House, Chinese New Year, all those, and I'm very thankful to the really senior OPs that give us that connection, especially young to the old. Some of these are probably older than your father, but to see them coming, I know OP Azmi kept his tongkat in the car to show he's still young. But it's that spirit that if they can come, why can't the younger ones come? It's quite sad. So we need now activities to bind more of the younger ones together. Do we need the younger ones? The answer is no. Definitely no. So I have to really tell the young ones, you want to get access into the aid, into the welfare, into the benevolent fund, and into more important networking, please come to our activities, our events. Because by knowing your senior, they can help you. Even if they don't have a job for you, if they give a reference, I think that itself is an opening. Betul lah, young ones? I see Farid every time here. I always thought he's here every night. I thought he's the son of Omar Sharif or whatever it is, coming to help the father, because his wife definitely comes, to do. Imagine folding up 700 pocket hankies, which is to be given away as gift tonight. It takes time, and we know that. We have done fatigue duty. Okay. So the fifth is growth. All organizations survive on growth. Ask the politician, ask OP Azmi, numbers is what we are after. So I thought, actually it's a no-brainer. Our membership should grow. Because from the days, my time, right, where 100 OPs, Putras joined, then it became 120, now it is 250. So by natural progression, you already have a bigger captive market. But we are not growing at the rate that our Putras are entering boys in, right? So that's another thing that we need to focus on. One good thing is our credit control is better now. I think one of Omar Sharif's, OP Omar's job is to chase for people who are not life member but membership, paying 100 ringgit a year. 50, pay over 10 years. Wah, sampai ketua tu. I think you better give the discount and just collect upfront, okay? And I think we're building some incentive for you to collect more nasi lemak. Okay? So those are the 5G that I want to work on, and I hope we'll get more volunteers to come into one of these subcommittees. In future, hopefully call committee, so that you can put back, you can give back what you have been if you like, given in the past, and I'm sure I can count on all of you. So with that, I just want to say one more time, thank you to my VP, to my HS1 and my treasurer, and the rest of the EXCO. Please put your hands together to them. And if there's any shortcomings tonight, I, on their behalf, want to ask for forgiveness because I lead from the front. Okay? I lead from the front. But you know, ini semua gotong royong, we do it our way, and that's the only way. And I'm sure you all would also be gratified and express your gratitude to all of them here. So thank you very much. Salam sejahtera, and have a great proceeding. Terima kasih.
OP President, thank you so much for the speech. I think now we are a bit at ease as the organizing committee for the dinner because you have apologized upfront. So the so malam-malam ni apa-apa cari presiden lah.
I've been married for 45 years.
So let's move on to agenda number 2. Tapi press cakap panjang sikit tadi, so let's just move on to agenda number 3. Okay, thank you. Boleh? Tak boleh kan? So let's go to brief page 10 of the report. Let's just go through quickly the minutes of the meeting from the last AGM. Semua nampak? So we start with page 12, item number 1. So kalau ada apa area of concern, please raise your hand and we can quickly discuss. Just to recap those who came in a bit late, for detailed discussion we will discuss it at the agenda number 9, which is other matters. But any confirmation or items to take note on the last minutes, we can take note on it. So moving on to page 13, this is the financial punya statements. Agenda page 14, agenda item number 5, the election of the committee members. Page 15, election of the honorary internal auditors. Item 7, the external auditor. Item 8, the Board of Appeal. Item 9, other matters. And finally, page 17, the closing remarks. If everything is good, can I get a proposal for the for the last AGM to be approved and a seconder as well? Okay, seconder. Okay. Boleh record Kita record nama tadi. Oh, okay. Alright, gentlemen, thank you so much. I think this is a record. Thank you so much. Oh, peluh. Dengar cerita senior-senior cerita dulu AGM ni horror tu, tengok hari ni okey. Wow. So I was prepared for actually a long battle on the minutes. So now we've got spare time. So itu yang best. Okay, baguslah. Let's follow the housekeeping rule. So moving on, agenda number 3, the presentation of the activity report. So I will run through some slides. This would be exciting. Tak ada, dia memang kita plan benda ni last hari ni dia akan tak boleh pakai. Dia memang this is how we plan things. Tutut. Dia Umbrel. Saja Okay. Okay. So let's go through the flow of the activity report. If you want to refer, the activity report is on page 22 of your activity punya your booklet lah. Page 22. So these were the newly elected office bearer and exco last year, starting from the president OP AGM, the handsome gentleman, saya sebut nama, then we've got Hazman, Upak, Rombi, Jaya, semua ada call sign. Yes sir.
I'm very particular about English.
Yes sir.
Correct that. Newly elected. Expo, newly elected. English itu teman-teman itu.
Agree sir.
New expo elected boleh, tapi expo new elected salah. Itu Tamil punya bahasa.
Betul sir. Memang salah.
Very particular about English.
Thank you sir. So we were actually testing sir, because so we waited for you to come before we start this presentation, because without you we would not have that comment. So thank you so much sir, knowing that you are here. So I think you're yeah. Tak, memang. So sir, actually this is the slide after that one. We have planned this already. We're just waiting for you.
Thank you.
Okay, ayolah, next item please. Oh, pergi mana?
Ini apa ini? Hairdo.
Yang mana?
Different hairdo.
Which one sir? Ini okay? So Board of Appeal, OP Raja Abdul Aziz, OP KJ and OP Chua.
Is Raja Abdul Aziz present?
Yes sir. Internal Auditor, OP Amirul and OP Zainal both are here. Amirul ada?
Tak ada yang katakan.
Tak ada yang kat tangan. Lepas tu we've got a few co-opted. We've got Jojo, BP, Nick, Rizal and Dr. Shah. Dia memang tak nak tekan lah. Okay. So bila kita letak cantik-cantik, this is how the structure looks like. Cantik ya? Okay, thank you. We've got Om kat bawah ni, GM and RMC License Officer. This is the Director of Training, OP Rashidin. So he... Yes sir? Tak, the back button doesn't work, sorry. What's that?
Okay, just clarification for Ubi Raja Pasarul. Was it elected as committee member or co-opted?
Dalam Constitution, Kopi Chua ada komen sir? Saya malah baca Constitution ya sir. Apa dia cerita? Co-opted ke apa sir? Dia elected lah kot. I think technical word kat bawah ni kita pakai elected lah. Okay?
Co-opted lah.
Co-opted
Atau appointed.
Okay. CA kata kita agree. Jom.
Appointed tu, appointed.
Okay,
Young man.
so we have the golf section, OP Faizal. ICOP kita ada OP Razi Syed Ahmad, and then we have Wan Izani, and also we've got the disaster team, OP Dr. Shah. Subcommittee, OP Press just now brief on the subcommittees that we have, from the education standard, welfare, sport excellence, constitutional review, and also the finance, accounts and tax. So as you all know, as captured in the minutes of meeting, last AGM, Exco dapat meeting allowance 200, so ni gambar to justify the allowances that we got for the last term lah. So probably we can pause for a while. HS tak tidur dalam gambar-gambar ni. Ada gambar record yang Honorary Secretary tidur, tapi dia tak pernah tidur as per recorded here in the meeting. Okay, jap. Okay. Memang tak boleh pakai, dummy, berlakon je. Okay. So kalau tengok ni gambar yang cantik tahun lepas ni, habis meeting pun kita post cantik-cantik, kita ambil gambar. Yang mana sir? Ada pointer, yang mana beri? Lantet semua ni. Okay, ni annual dinner last year. Ada gambar-gambar cantik. Ni OP of the year last year. OP Bahar. Masa dia bagi speech pun dia tidur. Tak duduk depan. OPPP game last year, that was fun. We plan to do this year again, sir. Nanti probably you can share as well some of the plans. Seperti biasanya OP menang lah. So that one, sir, probably we can work harder this time.
Better not donate the machine.
New members from the term 1st August sampai 10th July 2025. So you got the ordinary 175, life member 50. So total standing now is 4,071. So this one, so BNE, this is a summary. Later Honorary Treasurer will give you a bit more detail on the standing. So from OPA punya funds, OPA contributed 105,000 to BNE punya fund dekat sini. And some of the expenses, there's a contribution of 42,000. So from BNE fund, the money that flow out from BNE fund ada 42,800. This is to assist RMC punya academic program. Lepas tu there's an English punya fund, 12,000 was contributed specifically for the English punya program in RMC. There's also some financial assistance to OPs and non-OP. Ada 7 recipients for university and college admission, and also back to school program ada 27. Golf punya gambar-gambar. So OPA also contributed to the the organising of the OPA Annual Golf Championship. Yang menang tahun lepas batch mana? 88-92 lah. Okay, tahniah. Basketball last year I think it was impressive. The alumni punya league menang. Biasalah menang tu sebab ada funding from OPA yang
Dia punya captain last time.
So tahun ni ada game ni, boleh menang Rugby menang juga, mesti menang. This term kita ada 2 talk. I think most of you here I noticed attended these 2 talk. We had one, the economic landscape, Prof. Jomo, and also OP Ainul. There was another interesting one as well, career talk on from OP Syafi'i and OP Liu, facilitated by OP Farouk. This coming term we will continue to do the same thing. I think the engagement was very good when we were able to pull in the younger ones, and the topic is also of significant interest lah, I think. So please do come. We will have more talk punya session this year. Any topic that you want to suggest, we are also more than happy to look into it. The social media, we got about 3,800 in the Instagram. Facebook ada 4,700. This is our official Facebook. So yang ni kurang kutuk-kutuk. Yang the unofficial one tu banyak cerita. The notice board. So notice board ada 886. So this is where we make all the announcements, the reminder for semua benda lah. So kalau you are not in the WhatsApp punya notice board, let us know. There's a link for you to join. Kenapa? Official apa tu? Ambil gambar? Okay, kejap.
Dia nak nyanyi.
Sekali lagi.
ke dah.
Candid sikit.
Okay. So IT wise we did a lot of work as well. The database, I think we revamped the database this year. There's also training involved because now the website is fully functional as an e-commerce. So you can do a fully functional transaction from ordering of merchandise all the way to checking out, and we are using our own OP punya payment gateway, which is very pay. I think over the years, what I've learned being in OPA is that we prioritize in assisting OP companies. So jadi bila payment gateway yang ada, even that we try to use OP punya company. So yang very pay tu. Ikatan Kasih OP, there were a lot of visits and assistance. These are just to highlight some of the activities. OP Muhammad Alif Hakim, there was a fundraising initiative that we did. We raised about 15,000. OP Alif, he met with an accident, a head injury, driving back from Polytechnic Melaka. Ni OP Adam, rumah terbakar, and we raised 36,500. So the raising ni, the announcements are in all of our social media channels, and it was just to raise this much is very quick. I think it echoes clearly from the President's experience in OP punya giving spirit. This is the Deepavali event. We held it on the 3rd of December. OP Captain Aziz tak nampak kat sini. Ada. Chinese New Year punya event 24th February. We had the iftar dekat MB Johor punya residence. So part of the plan that we made last year was 2 engagements with OP punya community outside of KL. So that was why we initiated this event in Johor. We were supposed to do 2 engagements with OPs outside, but we were only able to achieve 1. So this coming term, we will also continue to plan for activities, engagement activities with OPs outside of Klang Valley. So the plan is I will be following OP President to London as well. Sir? Tak. Hari Raya event, always very exciting. This one also very interesting. The sharing early history of FMC RMC by FMC PD. This was in December 2023. Surely we will try to organize similar activities every year. Iftar batch 6970, 16th March. Iftar batch 200205. OP Idol, OP sir, spelling salah.
Yang ni memang purposely.
Okay.
Ini kita faham. Branding. Kira use the original, nanti kena sue.
50th anniversary batch 74. Tahlil before going to Hajj, banyak ramai datang. ICT party, this is also very fun. I think we'll do it again this year.
Yes.
Boleh kan? This is the secretariat. Let's just give a round of applause to Secretariat Om, Pak Iza, Ros. Memang kerja tak ingat hari, tak ingat masa. Dia here every day.
Bagi speech.
Bagi speech. Apa lagi ni? Ada FMC PD Raya Get Together, Budak Boy Sunday 28 April. Ada gambar yang handsome tu. Ada je. 70th anniversary FMC formation 16 and 17 December. InsyaAllah, let's try to also organize one every year, including this year kalau boleh. OPA is always there to assist as well wherever possible. Okay, that's it from me. That is agenda number 4 tadi. Yes sir.
Every month, OPs in Singapore have monthly dinner.
Ah.
We have the 2 banners that we got from Anita and JB. Tapi tak ada gambar ni.
Ada gambar tak?
It was not sent to us. That's why.
Boleh sir, if you can share.
Next time we have to invite us.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for highlighting. I think we will take note, and then maybe we can join the one in Singapore and in Australia.
TPM is very active.
Yeah. Thank you for letting that.
Yeah.
Tapi all is attending all getting older and older.
Senior in age.
So thanks, we take note of that. Jojo and I, we will always be happy to travel to Singapore, because to start, before we get to London, I think we start to go to Singapore. Alright, gentlemen, kalau tak ada apa, let's move on to agenda number 4. This is the for the approval of the balance sheet and statement of account. I pass it to HTF.
Thank you, Mr. Swan. Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi semua.
Okay, propose. Ada seconder?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Proposed by OP Zainal, seconded by OP Cicit. Sorry.
Thank you. Nampaknya maaf. Thank you sir for bringing attention.
Ignore it.
Tadi ingat CA yang cakap something, dia tak perasan.
Other matters, sir.
Okay, okay.
Get ready.
One question only.
No.
Okay, jalan.
Okay, next slide. Faizal, next slide. Okay.
Oh ya, tekan. Try.
Right.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, sirs, what I am presenting is a snapshot, and as for what I've been presenting for the past 2 years, I believe we simplify, but unless you can see the full financial statements in the document that you have, what I'm trying to capture is basically as of 2023, you have you have the association and BNE fund, which is the consolidated, and you have the previous years, and you have the association which only reflects OPA, right? So just looking at, let's look at, either way you can look at basically that the BNE fund is wholly owned, or sort of like it's part of the OPA.
Don't pakai pointer.
Okay.
Okay. Now you talk.
Okay. So basically, the BNE fund and the association is consolidated. Okay. Let's look at basically in terms of income for last year 2023, there's a slight increase, and overall we look at, after we've taken into account expenses, there is a surplus before tax of 38,000, and basically there's no tax for OPA except for the interest income. So for the year itself, surplus recording of 38,293. I must also like to highlight that notwithstanding, in terms of activities, expenses that it was incurred since after pandemic years, everything is the same, just that last year 2023 we had our first ever since pandemic was the OPPP, so which for which OPA spent 42,000. So in spite of 42,000, we still record a surplus for the year. Okay. So this echoes well what mantan President and also the current President, that we ensure that good governance is instilled. We don't belanja sewenang-wenangnya lah. Okay. So next slide. Just to show everyone, to show and to highlight everyone what are the breakdowns of our revenue, our income. So as you can see here, huge dependence of our income comes from rental. This rental comes from custom rental lah. Alright. So we have signed a 3-year continuing lease, pajakan, or lease to Ya Allah, this is a rental ataupun sewaan, okay, from custom that was signed January 2024. It will be in force until 31st December 2026. So yes, so our independence or sustainability in terms of financial relies heavily on rental from custom, and you can see the other breakdowns that whenever we have activities, we have collections, we have sponsorship, and this is where it leads to our events and dinner income. We also have membership income for those new members and also past members. And I think I would like to commend the secretariat led by OPA AGM. This year, as of May, we have collected 59,000, which is more than what we collected this year. So there have been a lot of chasing. And echoing what current president saying, so the banyak grilling lah, but so basically there is a pool of uncollected membership, and I think some of the memberships, to be fair, dia tak tahu sebenarnya when they sign up as 100 as ordinary member, but eventually over the time nobody follow up. But this time around, the secretariat has been vigilantly following up, and they are willing to pay, no problem. Yeah, alright. So coming back as well, other chunks of income yang besar tu is our fixed deposit interest. I think 2022, late 2022, we've opened an account with Affin Bank, for which OP was there to help us open an account and gave us a tremendous interest rate income. It was highest among other banks lah, obviously highest than CIMB, and also obviously higher than Bank Rakyat, which we were putting in for money there to get interest income. But Affin Bank memang at market for us special, memang tinggi. So that also resulted in an increase in our FD income. Okay. So I think the rest is self-explanatory in terms of what are the components of the rental income. As I told you, that the custom, then also there are a few other things like kecil dia, telco, DJ Max ini. And again, in terms of the financial sustainability of the OPA itself, we must ensure that our customer is happy, for which you can see at our stances, we strive to upkeep the building, we strive to make sure that the piece of our client, which is custom, and therefore we have undertaken slowly major repairs with regards to the building and for them. Okay. Moving on. Yes, Sophie Farouk.
Good job, committee and Exco.
Hi, boleh.
That's a suggestion moving forward for the variance in the explanation. If you look at percentage, still it'll be good that if you look at the variance, you put undergo and it's a plus or minus kan. So you can either put plus or minus.
Right. So this one is not a variance. This is basically a percentage of the component. Ini bukan. I didn't show as a variance. I can show variance. I can show variance. Yeah, this is a percentage weightage of the component. So I wanted to portray that dari segi how big the rental. I see. Okay, bawah boleh noted sir. Put it bawah ni 100%. Okay. Alright sir. So if there's no other question, I'll move on to the next slide. It's just to show captured our past 7 years of income analysis. I think basically one notable thing is that in 2021 we have successfully negotiated an increase in our customer rental by 20%. And however, bila after pandemic tu, kerajaan pun tak ada duit, kita pun we wanted them to hang on to us, and I think we signed off with the same term lah. I think because in 2021, 20% increase from government was unheard of. Okay, thanks to the Exco back then during that has negotiated. So again, I think we will start talking to custom come before 2026, obviously during the beginning of 2026, and we will try to understand. I think custom ada niat dia nak move out as well, tapi dia orang tak ada budget buat bangunan sendiri. And so far, as long as we keep them happy, and they really like being here lah. To be honest, they really like being here. I kenal kita pernah custom next to issue dan sini, and we would like to them to continue on as well. Right. this is corresponding to show income dengan expenses. This is expenses column. Well, I'd like to show you my last slide, especially what everyone perhaps want to know more. What are the components in our expenses of last year? So just to give you a deep dive sikit on what it is, it's in your docket report. But what are the big components here? Let me just try explain to you that first and foremost, yes, every year OPA akan bagi donation, and that donation 105,000 goes to the BNE fund. Okay, why it goes to BNE fund? Because the BNE fund is the arm to cascade down funds for the welfare of OPs, Poto, and even RMC Putra, right? Yes, sir. Sorry, education. Sorry, sir. Education. Nama pun BNE fund. So yeah, not welfare but education. Okay? Yes, sir. Alamak. OP Rabi, sir. Alamak.
You need an English advisor lah.
Rabi mana? I think while I was typing tengah kena massage je, tengah kena raba. Yes, sir. Rabi, my apologies, sir. Okay. Again, this is to show one of the big ticket items. Apart from the OPA punya donation to BNE, okay, we've actually endowed for our SMC Raya and PD gathering every year without fail. We will even without request pun kita beri juga. Again, what OPA President mentioned earlier, when the idea muted from, I think, sikit lah untuk pembangunan rugby this MTD, we obviously the ESCO deliberate about it, but yeah, we donated that scrum machine lah. I think that paved the 2 years and the start of how rugby MTD has done flourish lah. So I mean, we would not to take into any count of credit, but obviously this helped the rugby team in NTD and also PCC to achieve the success that we are reaching now lah. Right? And we've also I mean, in terms of activities, sports lah, we have golf, we have rugby, we have football, we have cricket, and we have basketball tournament. These are basically allocated, but the IC of the sports will come to us, present to us their plan, then kita akan, biasanya this is involving tournament fee lah. Alright? So the other part of the expense yang besar tu is basically events lah, which basically last year was at Shangri-La Hotel, the annual dinner. Then we have Chinese New Year without fail, Iftar, very engaging. We have also Raya Aidilfitri, and we also have, I said to you, the OPPD Day, which we love to continue on from now on every year. And also we have small but activities from the talks, and I think what OPH mentioned, all the talks as health talks, the other talks, macam-macam talks lah.
Just to expand further on item number 2 on this side, the way we do our budget planning is for the celebration punya event tu, our budget from OPA itself is just 5,000. But as you see, the expenses is more than 5,000. Everything else comes from the donation drive that we do. But because the money flows into OPA's account, so the expense is in OPA's account. However, our budget from OPA punya, from the revenue that we generate from the rentals and all, is just 5,000. So jadi if the donation that we collected is more, then we would not expense the budget that we have allocated, which is 5,000. For every top events, our budget is 1,500. So that's how we control our budget planning. Okay. No.
Alright, and lastly is professional fee, which accounts for our accounting fees and tax agency. So without, presenter would have a question. Yes, sir.
Okay,
about the professional fees and audit fee, accounting fee. Mungkin tax agent fee tu you boleh negotiate lah sikit, because kalau ikut association dia I think about 5,000, 6,000 je.
Okay.
Tax agent, accounting fee I don't mind, at least we can kurang 3, 4,000, 5,000 je.
Thank you,
So
sir.
tax agent fee.
Tax agent,
So maybe next.
Okay. Good that you point out, sir. Just to give sedikit pencerahan lah. Tax agent fee ni tinggi pasal kita ambil yang Big 4 je, top tier. Right. And also, one of the reason is actually because they help clarify a few things in 2000 before lah. I think maybe I pass my colleague.
Just want to clarify. We can say we can call small and medium firm tax agent as our consultant. In fact, we've done that in the past, but because we have BNE, it's a different tax treatment from other institutions. We are tax exempt under Section 446 SDN. What happened in the past when we engaged with small or medium tax firm, there was a mistake in our tax return. We did due diligence, and we noticed for the past few years we submitted based on manufacturing company. So we can save, but there's a risk to it. But I think we after consideration, discussion, we think we need some help on this, and that's why we engage EY as our tax agent.
I thought the same auditor, only audit firm become the accounting fee and tax agent. I thought the same, but if there's a different, maybe understood.
Yeah, it's I mean most companies dulu when I was in the firm as well, normally you have the same tax agent corresponding to auditor, right? I think companies have moved on beyond that, so they have either two separate for governance purposes. I think if I can plead lah, we will be embarking on our renewal, our section 44(6)D status, income status for the fund will expire by 31st December 2025. Lah ni tahun depan. So I think we will definitely look to our tax agent, and yes, we can look at other smaller ones as well. As to we would like to extend the exemption ni. Kalau tak, sebenarnya then whatever income that we have especially custom will be subjected to tax. Lah ni sekarang ni tengok sekarang ni orang tax macam less than 1,000 itu only reflecting the interest income. But imagine if you be taxed on your mana dah kau cakap?
Previously, IRB used to give a tax exempt status on perpetuity. That's why there's a lot of misuse. Tax exemption, the yayasan, akal budi, all those. So now, the new guidelines issued in 2020 restricted for all funds, the lifespan is only 5 years. So after 5 years, you got to apply again a new fund. So BNE, we have enjoyed that for the last 20 years. Number one. Number two, rental income is a business income. Technically, all business income is taxable. Whether you are tax exempt ke, you buat business ke, you personal ke, individual ke, you buat business, you kena tax. But because of last time, in 2007, OP Zainul was the DG of LSGN. Because of his help and assistance, our rental income is exempted. He issued a letter to OPA. In fact, 2 years ago, we tried to engage with RRB, ask them, is it true that this the letter by Tan Zainul is still effective? They themselves are not able to give any. Because like I said, technically all this income is taxable. So in the future, even if we are able to maintain, we get a new status under tax exempt, Section 446, I'm pretty sure our rental income will be taxable. Yeah. Okay?
Yes, that's what I'd like to add. Basically, for 6, especially for non-profit organisation, basically kalau if you're doing something non-profit, you shouldn't be taxed. But here, it's a grey area then, which should be benefited. But nonetheless, we will still request for continuation. But we will be working together with our tax agent, Rizana, and hoping that the closer they are, the pedigree they are, then dipermudahkanlah untuk our application here. Okay. Any questions from the floor? BC.
We approve Aziz Abdullah, LMA 110, 1977. I think I speak on behalf of the audience here. First thing, job well done to treasurer and the committee. Because unfortunately for us, OP Nawawi is not here. If he be here, then my compliments would have carried more weight. But since he's not here, he will always find fault somewhere there. Unfortunately, he's not here. So I can speak now with confidence because he's not wrong. But I think in all my presence, in all the past OPA AGM, I try not to miss it. Same like they call it. But okay. This is the first time I noticed very clean sheet, and I think the new president has already imparted his influence on the committee to come to know, like what you said, Mr. Audit Secretary, that you give only 5,000 for every event, and whatever we see there is actually contributions you get. So that is something fantastic. But dulu, the main gist of the complaint was that why you are spending money to have all these events? You should generate income, not use money. But here for the first time I'm seeing that they give only 5,000, but look at the amount there for iftar and everything is more than 5,000. So compliments for you. Well done.
So bila saya approach minta derma tu, tolonglah bagi dia. Jangan blue tick lepas tu tak reply. Itu boring kan.
New members, because I don't know how many new members are really or young members, because that's very important, and I must congratulate you that you've got so many new members.
Berapa breakdown? Ada.
Just a general, because most associations always have a problem that younger ones don't.
Okay, if I may share, I think for the past 2 or 3 years, we have engaging RMC to liaise with the new passing out OPs. I think last year we enrolled more than 150 young OPs.
So satu, Zaidi punya explanation was very brief. So I would always like to expand the explanation. So the mothers among the boys would approach OP Zaidi with the interest of actually registering anak dia as OPA members. Tapi we start asking question, kenapa the mothers would approach Zaidi? Padahal I pun ada.
But in reinforcing what our OP from Singapore said, that next year maybe kalau new members 245, maybe break down.
Boleh.
So that gives us a better picture of how many younger ones are actually.
Thank you,
the
sir.
old ones you cannot convince them. If they don't want to join, they will never join.
Tak boleh buat apa dah kan? Memang susah. Yang saya perasan.
I know.
Kita
I went through the same process. Some of them were very adamant. They just don't want to be associated with OP. What reason we don't want to know? But we must respect their decision. We are targeting not the young ones. These are our potential. Thanks.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So formality wise, can I have a proposal to accept the accounts?
Saya propose.
Alright.
Ini mau tahu. Yang lain semua jangan ambil.
Okay. Okay, secondly, thank you. So because I'll be the one preparing the minutes, so for next year, just have a look out on this particular item. I akan letak nama CA kat bawah. I nak tengok dia perasan tak?
I hope you leave that long.
The- Okay, so let's move on. Agenda number 5, the election of the office bearer and committee members. I think we sent out some information on sana. Cepat, last page, cepat. Oh, cepat sangat. Okay. So we send this out in the notice board as well. These were the positions available for election: Vice President, Honorary Secretary 2, Treasurer, and 5 committee members. What you see on the screen, these are the names of nominees that we received as per the closing of nomination hari itulah. So I think a few of us were there. So we had our standard governance process. That night itself, we opened the ballot box. We had a few CIA members to ensure that everything is in order. The internal auditors were also there. So these are the final names. I'll run through from the top. So the first one, for the position of Vice President, the nominee is OP Zulkifli bin Muhammad, LMZ 074. Mungkin boleh bangun untuk kita semua kenal. Boleh bagi ucapan juga. Ada kempen? Malam ni kempen. Proposer dia Khairul Rizwan bin Muhammad Ibrahim, LMK 112. Seconder Rozaidi bin Mustafa, LMR 146. If everyone agrees, let's accept this nomination as duly elected Vice President. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Ucapan dulu. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. One done. Let's go to the next one. Honorary Secretary 2. So we have the nomination is for OP Nur Faisham bin Muhammad Nur, LMN 121. Mungkin boleh bangun, kenalkan diri. Jadi mungkin tepukan lebih gemuruh kepada proposer dia, none other than OP Khairul Rizwan bin Muhammad Ibrahim, LMK 112. Seconder OP Omar Syarif bin Mat Sani, LMU 042. If everyone is okay, let's also accept, because there's no other name obviously, let's also accept and welcome our Honorary Secretary to OP Faisham. Honorary Treasurer, satu nama apa dia? Oh, kau nak bagi ucapan? Okey lah. Okey, Honorary Secretary, nama yang dicalonkan Syamsul Afif bin Abdul Waris. Honorary Treasurer, okey, LMS 161. Again, round of applause for the proposer, OP Khairul Rizwan bin Muhammad Ibrahim. Okay, LMK 112 and Seconder OP Zaidi bin Mustafa, LMR 146. Apa ni, Nyok ada nak campaign sikit?
Boleh kita appoint dia treasurer for life. Boleh.
I wanted to say something, sir, because thank you for the vote of confidence, President and EXCO, but this will be my last term. Coming up to 3 term, as per Constitution, EXCO can only hold office for 3 terms. So this will be my last term. I would like to, from the floor, everyone here who would like to take over as Honorary Treasurer as we continue on rebuilding and also keeping momentum lah. So I siapa-siapa yang berminat, yang berhajat, then we can start the succession.
Mentor lah, jadi mentor lah.
Yes sir. Okay.
Okay, tak ada objection, kita accept and also okay. Thank you. So so let's go through the committee punya nomination. I'll just read through very quickly. We've got committee member, ada 5 position. You can see the names here. Formality wise, I'll just read out the name, the proposer and seconder. OP Rozaidi bin Mustafa, boleh tolong diri. Proposer OP Omar Sharif dan seconder OP Khairul Rizwan. Yes, nominee kedua OP Nick Rizal, boleh bangun. Okay, OP Nick Rizal. Proposer OP Jayafuddin dan seconder OP Akmal Hakim. Ketiga nominee OP Akmal Hakim bin Azizi, boleh forward roll. Okay, yang OP. Proposer Rozaidi and seconder OP Farid. Yang keempat OP Muhammad Farid, boleh bangun nominee, forward roll. Okay. Proposer Akmal Hakim dan seconder Ahmad Sharif. Yang ketiga, yang last kali OP Alistair Bundai Bong. So kita nampak Sarawak dah start minta. Akmal so, proposer Akmal Hakim dan seconder Jayafuddin. So kalau semua okay, let's accept all these nominees as well and welcome them to the expo. Okay? Cool. Alright. Okay, number 6, to elect 2 honorary internal auditor 24-25. Apa ni? Kalau macam mana kita nak ada proposal. How do we do this? Propose. So yang hari lepas is Amirul and Zainal. Is Amirul orang? Amirul. Okay. So saya nak cepatkan sebab kita other matters tu lagi best. Saya cadangkan kita sambung je dua-dua. Boleh? Re-elect Re-elect boleh? Sokong Okay, dan deal. Okay, Om, pandai-pandai minit kan? Cantik. Next. 7, to elect external auditor for BNE Fund 24-25. Sambung? Sambung? Boleh kan? Ada bantahan? Tak ada? Azuddin aku Oh, kita okey je? Sambung Okey, Om? Okey, dan deal. Okey, siapa yang propose tadi? Okey, treasurer cakap.
Okay. So the work has been exemplary. I must say for the previous team. This time ni budak baru, tapi the previous team senior in charge dari manager. But they've been good lah. I mean, in terms of timing execution, I have no complaints so far. And based on the fee that it's compared to the big four lah. Okay.
So apa ni, as mentioned earlier, the secretariat is also very comfortable working them. They are familiar with our accounts, so that part makes it a lot easier as well. Boleh? Siapa? Okay, propose, seconder. Tak ada. Okay, tak ada bantahan. Oh, kau nampak Alright, Chun. Thank you. Agenda number 8, to elect 3 members of Board of Appeal year 24-25. Board of Appeal presently ialah OP Aziz, OP KJ dan OP Chua.
I propose we maintain them.
Maintain them? Feko. Boleh So, dia kalau tak ada pun boleh. So, macam mana tu? Mr. Constitution?
According to the decision, you must have the board of appeal. Although the job is not so appealing.
Okay.
I don't mind.
As long the president don't sack any members, then we have we have very good president here.
Aku tak tahu KJ.
But so far, all the people have never said no counting because
No breach of
So maybe we have to try je.
anybody. Since then,
We have to try this term, see if they can do their work.
Any member is sacked.
For the board of appeal, somebody got to be charged.
Boleh kita sambung je lah. Alright, Chun, dah record tadi So then, the most exciting part. Okay, probably you can start queuing at the microphone. Other matters. Alright, let's have a good discussion. Sir. For you can say. Kalau bahar.
Mr. President, committee members and gentlemen, not everybody is aware, I think, that there is such a thing as Board of Trustee. Now, the Board of Trustee is appointed by the committee, not by members as such. It is not even presented in the list of committee members. I don't think many realize or aware what is the function of the Board of Trustee. Like Board of Appeal, nothing to appeal. But the Board of Trustee, you had a very important issue not very long time ago. And the Board of Appeal helped to resolve the issue. But strangely enough, the function of the Board of Committee is not even known to the members. I think, look at the, the Constitution. It's a very brief statement regarding the Board of Trustees. But you must remember the fact that we are growing and we are beginning to own a lot of things. The Board of Trustees don't even know whether they are still there or not there, because nobody mentioned them. It's not even printed, not even published. So I think it's high time the Persatuan really look at this thing. Now that we are getting bigger and we are owning a lot more things, and the Board of Trustees must know what's going on, not when you have problems. And then you go to the Board of Trustees, and you know, the last issue we had, it was a very difficult one regarding this building itself. It came into a situation where there was argument of who should be responsible for this building, whether it's the committee or whether it is members of the who were responsible for it. So I think I would like to request that the committee look into this again and then make it formal that the Board of Trustees is approved by the members, and the Board of Trustees is informed of any additional asset that is owned by the Persatuan. At the moment, I don't know. I don't even know, who are the members of whether there are any changes. The committee don't even tell me, but they only come and see me when there's problem. Otherwise, I don't know what's going on. So I think that's got to be sorted out. Secondly, this is a little bit out of the context, but this is responding to the President's speech earlier. We have to remember the fact that we are getting bigger, and not all of us are on the same frequency. We have people who are involved in politics, and they are all in different parties, the pros and cons, and even the legal side, we have pros and cons. So, we have come up with a lot more proposal how to raise fund, contribution come here, there, and so on. All these are interesting, but we must remember that for the association to last, we have to be able to accommodate all this, which is not easy, because this particular committee may have the right context, may have the right presentation to be able to draw in. But looking around at all the other associations, I cannot say the same thing applies. So we have to be very careful. We must not be too ambitious. We must not do too many things. We must not be too, involved in issues that is not really matters to the Persatuan. So with that, gentlemen, that's all I have to say, unless you want further explanation on what I have raised. Thank you.
Point taken. In fact, I was one of the original board of trustees and I was never consulted. Maybe the value of this property wasn't that high. In a lot of organizations, the board of trustees, for instance in UK, the Charities Act don't have board of directors, even professional association. They're all board of trustees, in effect the board itself. Because they are, as the word defined, trustee. Trustee of what? My view is trustee of all assets and liabilities. And this OPA has got asset. We do have some liability, but asset. And that asset is this piece of land and this building. If you ask me to do a valuation, and I'm quite familiar with property, minimally I think this piece of land will be worth 300 ringgit a square foot. So that's about, we are sitting on 6 million worth of value in here. Building probably not worth quite a lot. And this is where the board of trustees got to make sure that this land, of course, is preserved, but I think this property also needs to be upkept. You can imagine in 3 years' time if customs move because we are not, they have leaks here, they have power failure there. I think that would be disastrous for us. It's worthwhile for us spending some money to upkeep this so that they will continue to be our tenant. So point taken, OPA Shaolin, and I think it's a good point. I'm surprised it's not, the names of trustees are in the report. Are there? Those days it was. So we know. Yeah. So we must give due respect. Again, I take responsibility. We're meant to put something missing so that you can pick it up. You're reading the report. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. Everyone. I think Farouk has been meeting OP. So.
OP President, OP Exco, fellow OPs, LMF 013, OP Farouk Abdul Khalid. I put up these questions on Ruang Santai, informal OPs, but I'm going to put it formally to OPA. This is regarding to the UPNM case. So 3 questions here, very brief. Number 1, can OPA confirm if any of the 6 former UPNM cadets involved in the recent court case are members of the OPA? Question number 2, should any of the convicted UPNM cadets be members of the OPA? What will be their member status following their conviction if they are OPA members? And most importantly, the third question, how can the OPA collaborate with RMC to implement measures that prevent similar tragic incidents from occurring in the future? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, OP Farouk, for the question. For the first question, I mean, we did not really check, but we were informed that out of 6 who were convicted, who were sentenced to death, 3 are OPs, but not OPA members. Okay, they are OPs, and I think out of 18 who were involved, I was told it was 12. 12 were OPs, unfortunately. Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2, the membership is not relevant now because they are members. And for the question number 3, I had a phone call from OP Azmizam, which is the YB of Port Klang, who is currently the NYDP of RMC. He is really involved now. He's been talking to RMC as well as ALK, because you have to remember that tragedy happened in UPNM ALK, not in RMC. But unfortunately, the boys were from RMC, and there were many noise saying that they think that it was because they were in RMC that thing happened. But I think that's very unfair comment. They mentioned about the 3 convicted from RMC, but nobody said anything about the other 3. They're probably from sekolah Jalan Abu Bakar ke apa kan, but nobody mentions that, unfortunately. But never mind. We try to do what we can. Never mind. So we try to do what we can, and OP Azmizam had a long discussion with the commandant of ALK for the past few weeks. So he called me personally last night saying that he will engage, he will get OPA
as well as RMC and ARK to sit down together and see how we can help and how we can, prevent those situations to happen again, hopefully. Is that answering? Mr. Farouk, anything else?
Okay, so on that note, will OPI be in capacity of YP or OPA will now work closely to
Yes.
The reason I'm asking is in 2020, in the regime of OPA President Baha, we don't need to start from scratch. We have started the route to excellence to RMC, supported, and this is a task force committee by MINDEF, RMC, and OPA to drive 20-30 recommendations how to make RMC better. So let's not start from scratch, and OPA President has created a subcommittee on education, and is very focused on RMC moving forward. I think the drive should be, at least OPA must play an important role to drive this.
Yes.
Namesake for OPs.
Yes. Okay. Take note. We take note. We agree that we will involve. We will get involved together with our commandant as well as the LK. Okay.
Just to add on to that, I had a brief read through on the report by the earlier so-called committee. But it's left there, and I'm not sure what action is taken. We have now got a new commandant there, a new, if you like, office bearers. I hope under the education standards subcommittee, they will take this scope on board. It is not just about scoring A's. I think it's about inculcating the values and the culture, not the culture that we were talking about. My little knowledge of that was the OPs were observers. They did not participate in that physical torture, I was told. I have no way of saying it. But if they have held on to the value of truth and goodness and all, they should have stopped it. They should have stopped their colleague from doing so. Now all 6 of them are punished. Seems like a RMC culture, like if one of them don't misbehave, everyone gets collective punishment. But it's a bit too late. The bad news is, that's went up to federal court, I think, so that's the final court, right? There's no more, right? The good news is, this is a classic case study. If you're going to hold this moral upbringing sort of talk, half of them may be asleep. But now, if you put this case and say, that's the outcome, if you misbehave, hopefully that will drill down to the new OPs. Unfortunately, we take things like AIDS, Asian financial crisis, COVID, for us to try and spot the black swan and try and mitigate and risk manage. So now, I hope the EXCO members on the Education Standards Committee take this more broad-based than just the A's and good exports and everything. It's all that in between. Thank you.
Among other things that we discussed yesterday with ARK, that we want to have more engagement with the OPs at ARK. Because before this, I think we don't have any, we cannot reach them at all. Because the ARK commander is not an OP. But now since we already made contact with the current commander of ARK, and he happily acknowledged that, so we will have more engagement with the OPs at the ARK. Thank you.
OPA President, committee members and OPA members, good morning. I have a few things to address. Now, one is what we are discussing now. I think is on the hot lips of many of the OPs. But we are at the crossroad whereby it's going to the federal court. And any intervention by anybody at this point in time, however good it is not good in the sight of the law. So perhaps we can put that aside. We keep informed of what's happening, but don't go overboard in expressing our opinion, because the federal court is going to make a decision, and that's what matters. So it's too bad that it happened. We can look back and say, okay, who are responsible? And I would like to bring this forward, which has a parallel to what we are doing or what we are feeling, but it has got a legitimate view in the sense that we are members of the Board of Governors. Now, the Board of Governors are the fellas who are ultimately in charge of all RMC. It's not the Paswan Ibu Bapa, you know. It's not just the management of RMC, the commandant and his team, but the BOG. Now, we are represented on the BOG, and this is where I've not seen anything, and I think we should be reported either verbally, most probably verbally, perhaps because of the nature of things being discussed, that the OPA must know and the OPA can suggest to the Board of Governors what to do. Because definitely the 5Gs that we had just now is one way that the Board of Governors are seen to be aware of what we are doing and what we are suggesting. At the same time, I feel things that have been discussed in the past. Is 2 years too short to train a boy, you know, and out he goes, and then not make mistakes? If 18 of a batch make a mistake in PNM, what's the trend going to be of the other members of the interviewing board later on to say, hey, you can come to UPNM. You all don't have a good training. Not from an RMC officer perhaps, but from somebody else from outside. So we got to protect that image of ours. And this is where I think we have to ask the BOG, what's your plan for the RMC in the future? Is it going to go on like this? Are you aware that we are losing in sports? 1 year to train for rugby and win the rugby against Form 5 or lower 6 students from outside is calling a bit too much. It affects the amount of academic exhaustion that they can get from the teachers compared to what is 4 years. Or at least give 3 years, for instance. That BOG has got to decide because they can influence me there. Because KSU is there, the chief of staffs and the deputy chiefs of all the services are there. You know, so that is a forum for us, knowing the fact that we now have 18 guys involved in crime. We didn't train them for that. We did ragging, yes, everybody is a ragger at one time or another. Maybe not a king ragger, but a ragger at least. So, is it because we didn't rag enough? You know, we didn't teach them enough of what's right and what's wrong? You know, so this is where I think we have to make a suggestion to the Board of Governors now. Perhaps a writing team is set up, get all the old papers, put it together and send to the Board of Governors. Appealing for maybe questioning things like, is 2 years too short? What is the RMC plan, but the Board of Governors plan for RMC in 20 years, 10 years to come? You know, things like that. So we don't actually touch on the subject of what really happened. That has happened. I had to put a newspaper, what do you call it, comment last time when one boy was killed during ragging. And no, maybe not talk among many. There are general sons who went to overseas institutions, even though they were the real raggers, for instance. So that's very disappointing. We have boys coming up, and there was a question just now, why the old fellas never want to join? There are some people with this sort of feeling about us, about what RMC stands for. So that's all my comment, and I hope, what do you call that, we can look at this positively in the near future and help build the boy and let them be protected by our own brothers who really understood what they went through or what they did not have. Thank you.
I think it is, I don't know whether it's part of the agenda. We are honored to have our commander here, whether you are going to have commander, because why? The questions are more related to this one. It is unfair to have making comments without having to listen to our commandant's program and planning, and probably we can give a better picture about whatever. I would ask him to present before we go around to the topic of
I think before few office give comments, then kita conclude dengan komandan.
Lalu kita bagi komen dulu dan kemudian will conclude.
But it's up to the show.
That's right.
Okay, why don't we do this? If OP Raymond can make it short, we'll get the Commandant. That was supposed to be the last speaker. And maybe Oyo Misokong, he's the last speaker, then we all go have lunch. Oh, you want. So maybe after Commandant, you can.
I want to be the last one for this issue.
You want to be the last one?
Yeah, for this issue. For the.
Okay. All right. Can we make it fairly quick? Just drive home your point and we'll take it on board. OP.
Yeah, Mr. OP President, my name is Colonel Raymond Goh, C Company 1988 Production. I actually support the comments, suggestion of the last speaker. And in particular, the period of presently 2 years in RMC is nothing. As we grow older, 1 year is like 1 month, and 1 month like 1 week, don't you think so? I will still go back to the good old days of 3 years at least in RMC, starting from Form 3, Form 4, Form 5. Now there's no more Form 6, but there's Form 6 better. I was 4 years in the RMC production, 58 to 61, and really enjoyed the best part of my life in FMC. Thank God for that. My question here is on page 16, number para 30. I suggested to OPA Go card, whether we have any results with this Go card. What is the use of this Go card? Rather than Go card. You know what I mean? So, while we are proud to have the Go card, RMC Go card like credit card, you know what I mean? If those who haven't applied yet can apply. Go card. Now, what is it for? I did suggest that we can get some subsidies or request subsidies from various companies or F&B companies, at least 10% discount that can cover the surcharge and service charge and so forth, and can bring our families there. I quote in particular one case, I'm not advertising, I will share anyway, Uncle Lim Cafe. Now Uncle Lim Cafe is owned by Brigadier General Dato' Goh Seng Toh from the Air Force. And he runs this, he has 4 outlets at the cafe, and he gives 10% discount to veteran members who hold the veteran cards, right? Or even the MACBA Chinese Association, Malaysian Armed Forces Chinese Association veterans card. So can we sort of make a request that at least our members and our families can have a 10% discount at Uncle Lim Cafe for a start. It's halal. Now one of them is in Sobang Cafe. And other outlets I would suggest could be big outlets like KFC, McDonald's, all these big giants. We can ask them for discount. You never ask, you never get. Like the Bible says, ask and it shall be given thee, isn't it? And so I hope the committee can make some efforts to some of these cafes and outlets for some discount. As rising cost of living is going up, I think every cent counts. There's So Cafe in Taiping near the Lake Gardens there, operated by a Malay veteran. He also gives discount. But we could apply for it. I hope that the card at least makes meaning, and also more members will be able to join OPA and make use of facilities. The question is, if I join OPA, the question is, what is there for me? In any association, you ask me to join, what is it for me? I must have benefits, isn't it? So let's get some benefits for our members so they can appreciate.
Okay, point taken. OP Raymond, I'm quite familiar with cards. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
My next point is page 17. On para 44, the review of the OPA Constitution. Now 1 year has passed. Can we have any suggestions? What was the review that we made, if any? And if there's any amendments to Constitution, I believe we will need the members' approval, at least 2/3.
Absolutely. So that's why I'd rather give the committee a bit more time. They've done phase 1, which is correction of the English and the descriptive and all those. As I said in my speech, I want to go on to phase 2, which is really looking at the structure, the even naming of office bearers, whether calling ourselves council rather than exco, and then subcommittee is another committee. So it will definitely need to go to EGM anyway. So the members will get to vote on it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
My last question is qualified. propose that OPA send emails to members to get more feedback from OPA members. I don't think whether that's been done, but one of the best platform is through Facebook if we have, that we can, members of the OPA can give the comments to Facebook and the committee can look into this matter.
I think that's done. Who is in charge? Is it Ashwani or Hari? Where is Hari? Ashwani. Talking about social media, using Facebook. I thought the two things. I wanted the greater use of social media because a lot of people say, "No, I don't receive berita, OPA, and all that sort of thing." I thought the quickest and cheapest mode is to go through social media. So we got OP Ashwani to look into that because he's a tech guy. So I think Facebook is in there. There was some suggestion that come through, but definitely not enough. So we need to go out and e-blast again and say, how can we improve? What can we do for members? So maybe now we have a new, if you like Exco, we should do it again. But most people are a little bit, apathy about this whole thing, and that's the sad part, right?
Hari did the analysis of the first round of survey. Upat, you want to say something?
Okay, what we have done last time is that we have created a form in something like a Google form, and then we blast to everyone. Actually, in our notice board, which consists of 800 members, 255 members actually replied. Okay, so what happens to the rest, I'm not so sure. Maybe they're not interested to actually, give any feedback. And then out of this feedback, out of these 250, around 200 are young OPs. Young OPs I classify as below 35. Okay, and then many of them, one of the questions that we ask is that why are you not a member? Why are you not a member? How can we help you if you were to become a member? And then the most glaring answer will be many of them are students, and then 500 ringgit is a bit is a luxury for them. Okay, so we are based on this kind of feedback. Actually, me myself, I'm planning to actually reach out to these 255 and then see how we can, do up a scheme for them to become members, and also what are the things that we can do to actually help them, and then what will be the areas that we can help to actually improve the quality of our service, of our engagement with them. Okay, so these are the things that we are targeting to do as we go along. These 255, that will be the target group, and then we would like to blast another time, all right, so that other people can participate as well. Okay, but these 255 we will contact them personally lah. Okay, so that will be our plan moving forward from now.
Yeah, so just additional points from what OPA Ashwani actually mentioned. I did the analysis of the answers or the feedback, the responses given by the members. So most of the responses were mostly about what he mentioned, is about the younger OPs. They were like 500 is too expensive, and I agree, because we still have senior OPs who are complaining about the price of the annual seat, right? So, and that thing, and also there are few mentioned about they wanted to have talks and forums, which we have already implemented. In fact, these responses, the questionnaire was sent out the first thing when President Michael Yam actually started his journey over here, because it was raised in our last EGM, and then that was the first thing they actually did in this term. So the thing is, we have around 4,000 members, but then 200 is actually not even a sample for us to actually get. So we still need more OPs who, like, they take the initiative to actually, answer these things, so that we can actually have a proper feedback and also plan. So that would be all. As OPA Ashwani mentioned, we will also do another round, and then we hope to see more responses that is not the same, because 200 responses, 100 of them say the same thing. So we can't really do much. Thank you.
Mr. President, I suggest why I suggest the website will be the Facebook will be a good platform, because RAOC, Retired Armed Forces Officers Corps, the association, has done it very well, and they have feedback and pull out improvements, and the president used to even have monthly coffee talks in there. My next point will be whether it's in the constitution that no member of the committee should be a bankrupt. Is that mentioned in the constitution? I think that's very important, because it's a crime to take an active role in some NGOs and be a bankrupt. My last point is there is an NGO called Malaysia Military History Tourism Association, headed by Colonel Alan Lai of Royal Artillery Veteran. We have been having these military talk shows in Taman Togo since February 2019, and we'll be going around sharing our army experiences, World War II, First Emergency, Second Emergency confrontation. And I wonder whether OPS interested to invite this group. You can have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours talk show. The best we have so far is 3 hours, 3 or 1 hour talk show, which have recently had in 17 more. 1 hour each. First topic could be perhaps the World War II, then the communist insurgency, and UN missions. And I believe these talks will be useful to our members who have no knowledge whatever it is, because these are not taught in school. The military history is not taught in schools, nor can you find it in the school books. And lastly, for information, I have 10 articles by New Straits Times in Google. You can Google by name Raymond Go and find my articles there from my army experience. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to everybody. Saya ada 3 cadangan for other matters. The first one regarding yang tadi yang kita punya 12 office get convicted, 3 with the death sentence. Let us focus that let us concentrate that we are the old Putra associations. Apakah punca kuasa yang kita ada sekarang ni? Punca kuasa, our relation is only to RMC, to MTD, because we are one of the POG members. So, and please don't forget that UPNM, under UPNM, they have 2 entities. That is the NCS itself under Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi Malaysia, KPTM, and ALK, that is under Kementerian Pertahanan. Okay, 2 different chain of command. We must aware about that. And for OPA, we don't have any local standby to ALK. So don't just simply I'm proposing that we don't just simply budge to the ALK commander's office and telling what to do, because we have no relationship on that. But if we go to RMC and we go to the BOG and to the commandant itself, I think Pak Derih is the Brigadier Idris is the commandant of ALK, is very keen enough to listen to us. So let us make it very clear here. Don't jump the gun. Simply jump the gun and go to the ALK the commandant and try to teach him what to do. Okay. And I think we have to concentrate to our alma maters, that is RMC itself, to produce a good gentleman from our academy and from our military institutions. Okay, as an ex-military man, I'm quite pissed off if somebody from outside suddenly jump or barge into my organizations. So kita tengok balik YB Art, is it in what capacity that he went to see ALK Vice President, supaya dia tidak membawa pandangan yang buruk. All this while, I think the current commandant, Brigadier General Idris Wahab, is very cooperative. Even some of the benda yang dia nak buat pun, they ask OPA about the monuments, about everything. They ask OPA, what is your plan on this, everything, and so we try to expand BTT and so whatever. Dia tanya kita, they have the relationship. Lepas ni I think Komandan Datuk, I think the collaboration should be better. Amin. Again. Okay. The second one is about the fundraising. I think there is a lot of OPs, own companies lah. Okay. Can we look back onto some of the tax exemptions clause, something like the double T trades exemptions, double trade exemptions. Because dalam double D dia ada contributions to institutions, education institutions. Double D kan, you contribute 50k, your value of contribution will be 100k. Okay, so can we try to work this out so that we use RMC sebagai dia punya educational institutions, we use OPA as the manager, so we get more, maybe we can fork up more funds from the OP's company yang nak bayar tax berjuta ni, instead of KWSP straight away 1 million, maybe just pay for 500k and get the exemption for 100 million, 1 million punya tax exemptions. So can we explore on this better one?
Yeah, we leave it to treasurer. But double
double
taxation ni normally is for manufacturing investors all which MIDA approves. That's a different approval. But what the tax exemption is, if you donate 50,000, Inland Revenue will not add it back as a profit and tax you on the 50,000. That's the best you can do. Or charitable organisation like this. Because kalau tidak, you donate everyone to your wife, your in-law foundation. That one you donate income tax as far as you're concerned, that's not tax exempt. You give away 1 million, now I'm going to add 1 million back into your profit. I'm now going to tax you 250,000. So your cost is 1.25 million. Tapi kalau donate to OPA, B&E, I suppose you give 1 million, they will allow you to offset your 1 million from your profit. That's normally the one. So your double taxation is normally for.
Because I was approached few times by universities, all this too. So kalau boleh check balik tengok macam mana
That
university.
one will be very special one off by MOF.
Yeah, they got the approval for that one. Unimaps was doing that, everything. So can we just please explore on that better?
Whatever can get us off.
Yeah,
encourage donation.
The second one is to make it.
Now the third item.
The third item is to get kita OPs ni sekarang we are very eager sometimes to have the orang kata apa balik sekolah, come back to the school. So actually now we already have 3 campuses. We have PD for the FMCs, kita ada RMC Bukit Besi, and then we have the Ladang Belimbing for the current OPs. Okay, now avenue untuk bila nak balik tu kan, buat anything in RMC, kita pasang marquee tent lah, everything lah kat depan B block tu. I think it's not really go back to school lah. I would like to suggest if Komandan can take one of the block as annexes to RMC. Contohnya ambil B block kan, kita ambil the B block itself, satu B block, and annexes to RMC. Okay, during the hari biasa ni, we can do the annexes for them to use. Kalau ada tournament rugby, weekly rugby SBP di RMC, we can do that as annexes, or study weeks from TKC, STM, everything, we can use that one as our annexes, everything. But on the weekend, we can use for the OPs yang batch by batch nak buat this come back to school ni. So maybe in terms of tadi maintenance tadi kan, maintenance in Mindef ni confirm lah. I dulu kalau minta 500,000, I dapat 50,000 sajalah kan for my workshops. So using that double D tax exemption tadi apa semua yang from OP's company ni, maybe we can use that money to maintain the block, and we use it for RMC purposes and also for the OP purposes to come back.
That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think before sir, I answer the third question first, so that everyone's in the picture.
The rest of the items, I cover the rest towards the end of my short speech after this. But to answer your third question, the new RMC, okay, is actually not meant as per what one-to-one operational as what stated in our MOF Way Forward 2009. When I stepped in on 15 September, I was surprised to see that it is 180 off as to compare old RMC. We don't have the liberty anymore to have extra blocks as per last time. We have only substantially enough for 500 putras with an option to add on 2 more blocks of maybe 100 more to go. But that is in next RMK, in which it was not being parked for beforehand. And on the second note, the old RMC now has been taken over by UPNM ALK cadets. The whole block, inclusive of our Dewan Makan. So now we are in the transition process of shifting the rest of our logistic depot, current Putra logistic depot, to our new logistic depot, closest to our block, and then we will hand over to ALK maybe somewhere between September to October this year. So actually, your point is really valid. We are trying actually to have one extra block, but we can't afford to do that at current situation. I wish so, but the answer now is no. Okay?
Thank you. OP Kinjun.
Okay, OP Yo Kinjun LMY 009. E-Company 1966 to 69. So to answer your second question, I did some investigations before. Private donations to approved LDHN, LHDN, lembaga hasil dalam negeri, you are allowed to take 10% of your donation to be deducted against your top line taxable income. That's all. So the difficulty in attracting for fundraising purpose for more donors to come forward because it's not attractive enough. And the reason why we are successful in Singapore is because donors get 2.5 times. So if you donate 10,000, you get 25,000 deduction from your top taxable income line. So that's why we have been quite successful. So I wanted to take this opportunity to share with the AGM on exemplifying what OP President has said about giving. When we first started to initiate this, I wrote to the then Commandant for permission because NUS wanted us to know if we want to name it NUS RMC OP bursary, they wanted to make sure that we have got all the approvals. So they wanted RMC to give us the approval. I wrote to the Commandant. What he said was this has to be a BOG approval, and it is. I will bring it up at the next BOG meeting, but he didn't. So, you know, I guess there are more important agenda on the BOG meeting list. So what I did was write to the RMC OPA president at the time, and through OP Chua, who's here, gave us a letter which was accepted by NUS that RMC OPA has no objection for us to use the RMC OP name. We didn't use RMC OPA name. So the formality, you know, for government institutions in Singapore is to make sure that they have no objections from the owners of the name of the entity that you're suggesting. So I wanted to share that we have in Singapore quite a lot of OPs who are willing to give back. and it's because of the taxable benefit, it's much easier for us to raise. But I also wanted to clarify what the OP president said in his opening speech. We have raised bursaries in three institutions: in National University of Singapore, in Singapore Polytechnic, and in Utah. And they are not all from OPs in Singapore, no? OPs in Malaysia also contributed, from UK, from Australia. So we have more than 300 OPs who have contributed. And the beautiful thing about this is, and I want our good friend there to know, as far as I know, there is no alumni organization, including MCKK, who have done this to help needy students in all the various needs. So the important thing to know is these are endowed bursaries, which means we donated the money and they only disburse the faedah, the returns. So from the Singapore side, because the Ministry of Education gives 1.5 times matching, so 1 million becomes 2.5 million. And NUS gives us 4% return on the investment. So our donation of RMCOP bursary of 100,000, we generate 10,000 a year, and we give to a student, and it goes on forever, long after you and I are gone. So that's the beautiful part about endowment. And the other thing I wanted to share with the audience too is we don't have enough OPs applying, so we book up for needy Malaysian students in those institutions. But if there are OPs or Saudara OPs or Anak OP who can get a place into NUS, let us know. We will do the interview and we will definitely boleh juga. Yeah. So long as they are eligible, they qualify, we'll be happy to help. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that the audience understood, you know, the AGM understand why we have done this and who we can help and how it will help. Thank you.
Okay, last one OP Azmi, and then we pass to Mandan, because they all have to go to One World to prepare for the dinner tonight, which will impact 700 people. Here only about 35 of us.
3 points. Number one is about membership. Yeah? I think MCKK is a damn good college, good academy. I accept that fact. But it's obvious that RMC is so much better. Otherwise, our friend. At least you came here because this is a better school. Right? That's why he came here.
Objection.
Yeah, okay. Now, but at the same time, MCKK have got a very good membership. He would have the answer, and I think we should ask him how we could tap their methods. I'm sure there must be something that he knows. Yeah. And second thing, this is something very serious about what has happened in the last days that was mentioned. You see, I've been going around in my kind of circle. It's a lousy feeling when they heard RMC strict law. It's very annoying, and I cannot answer. You know, because I mean, when minister says strict law, it upsets me. Referring to the court case. And I think some kind of public relation, I don't know, needs to be done. By whom? I don't know, without upsetting the court. This business on Facebook and so on, every time mention RMC, striker. This is not funny. Yeah? We have to stop at that. Okay, the next thing is the commandant, don't hit him too hard. Because if you hit him too hard, his uncle will hit you guys. And if you hit the uncle hard, CA will hit you guys. Right, CA? Thank you. Thank you very much.
1 minute.
That's what we need.
Okay.
Item 21 should be amended as to Khalid review as part of the assembly should be deleted by one another.
Already done.
Already done.
Already done.
Yeah.
Done. That's it. Next.
Okay, last. Sila Komandan. Terima kasih.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yes, sir. I will introduce myself. Just to start off, sir. Tadi there was a trade-off by OPQE. I didn't know that I should deliver a speech. So when I met him just now, prior for briefing, his statement to me was, how many minutes do you want? One. Second thing, we are serving nasi lemak. You can take nasi lemak only if your speech only for 2 minutes. Balik tu, nasinya, macam tu. Yes, sir. Okay, OP Dato' President, sir, EXCO members, respectfully to all my seniors, and of course, my beloved brothers in OPs, irrespective of whichever years we are, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, irrespective, we are all brothers in Islam. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. I'll try to be quick, despite of not having any slides to show to all of you. But to start off with, on the starting block, allow me to introduce myself first. I am Brijan Saiful Azwar bin Arifin, goes by call sign of Ajin, aka Anak Jin. Don't ask me more why my call sign is Anak Jin. I'm sure my uncle will hammer me. Okay. Born in 1971, enrolled to RMC 84-88, Charlie Coy, JO. Enrolled towards cadet, Air Force cadet in 1989. Started off my flying career in 1992, and I flew a fighter aircraft F-18D Hornet all the way until now, and I'm still, alhamdulillah, fit at the age of 53 to still fly, alhamdulillah. Okay, I'm still serving in the Air Force, about 8 years more to go before stepping down. I've served in many commands, various commands. In particular, I've been sent for AKA Special Mission of Daulat 2018, International Investigation Team of MH370 Disappearance. I'm also involved with MH17 Preliminary Investigation Team, and I've been sent to Obiaman in Arab Saudi to provide humanitarian aids for the victims. Just to state the fact, during our mission, there were no supplement of any ammunition, any ordnance, any weapon as what's stated in the media. All are all medicine and humanitarian aids. Okay? Alright. So, my last command post was at EXCO in Lahadatul Sabah. I served there for almost 1 year. I was permitted for 3 years. Then my deputy chief called me up. Ajin, for you to come back, I need you to be at RMC in January this year. So that's where I am now. Today, it is my 6 month, 18 days, and 30 minutes. As one RMC. Okay. There are a few agendas here I wish to share to all my seniors. I hope all of you don't mind if I call you as my seniors. We'll start off first with the first question just now. What have been enrolled to RMC? When I took over on 15 January, the first kicking program, we call it transformation program. We start off with back to basic. We push all the putras to be back to inculcate RMC cultures consisting of morale, ethics, and our attributes. I'm not basing on my batch of R5 alone. I'm basing on collective information that I gain from everyone. We put that and we name this program as Relearn, Reset, Relearn, right? Reset and Relearn. Meaning we reset the mindset of all putras, Form 5 and Form 4, of 477 altogether, and we reteach them everything, back to basic. So that's how
we generated everything, and alhamdulillah, all the successful program, the success of the program already been kicked in. Starting off with the excellence in SPM result, where we have targeted 31 only for straight A's, but 44 were the initial achievers, straight A's, and when they redo the resubmission of the papers, total count was 48 All Putra achieved straight A's. This so far the highest so far, and we are able to hit the block of below 2.0, and I hope I can keep up with the speed. I know, and everyone knew, especially your PKW, my buddy in crime, 2 SPM this year. It's a tough job for me. Completed our first cycle in March this year. Straight away kami start terus on the second cycle. Okay, so I just quick run through everything so that we are on the same boat from now on. Of course, I'm pushing towards bodyhood. We call it bodyhood. Form 5 we'll be thinking of Form 4 for what we inherited last time, sir. We teach the boys how to kilat kasut, everything all. For some reason, I don't know why, many of the tradition were lost. And we have our strategic thinkers actually. Many of them are actually from our batch, 1 or 2 from the senior guys, where we call it our backdoor think tankers. Chichet is one of them, Razila, my batch is one of them, sir. So we will do a backdoor discussion once a month. We will look into agendas, details that we obtain from everyone, in particular of senior OPs. And we will try to brainstorm, and we try to put everything on the testing block before we formulate and justify the execution. Of course, at the same time, we also push for this various program, in particular what we call, I can't remember the exact words, but it's about psychometric. It's the first time ever been introduced to RMC. Now, the Armed Forces School, the rest of 34 Armed Forces School is looking into it, where we lean into selective and selection of STEM, what our kids is actually can deliver and wish to deliver. So from there, that we did this one for the current Form 4 batch. So from there, we will know exactly they will take STEM 1, STEM 2, etc. Or are they really excel in the academic one? Can they really excel in academic and sports too? Or they can really excel like some Putras, like the best commandant boy last year, Hakimi. He was excelled in all 3 forms. Let it be Coco, academic, and sports. He played rugby for Cicit. He also obtained 3.7 pointer. And he is also the school debater. I salute him, truly. Okay? So this kind of building block that we are trying to transform the current RMC boys. Certainly I cannot do this thing alone. I need everyone help, participation from all levels, from all tiers, so that we can push on from this on. And certainly, like for just to share you all, myself and Datuk Presiden always have hand-in-hand discussion. Except belum sempat nak main golf dengan dia lah. Tapi nak fikir single handicapper, saya tak berani ikut tahun ini. Okay, second point, I love the comradeship so much between OPA, individuals OP towards the current PP. There's a lot of engagement actually, tuan-tuan. For some reason, I was not allowed to reveal their names on the purpose of hamba Allah. I hope you understand that. And I received a lot of donation. Just for the record, we have 77 orang anak yatim piatu on my list now. To a certain extent, ni jangan log in They have challenges untuk bayar PIBG punya funds. But we, as the OPs, we try to help them in many ways we can, in particular for individual hamba Allah yang sedekah. Alhamdulillah, deadline diorang was on 30th June. Kami settlekan all 77 penyanyi yatim. Okay, achievement so far to date, like I mentioned just now, 48 straight A's. We are also rugby wilayah champion. Cicit, thank you very much for your guidance. We are also pemenang anugerah emas program inovasi peringkat kebangsaan. For the first time ever kita dapat. Now we have been invited, sir, to participate in international level. Will be conducted in Germany in October this year. I'm working hand in hand with Manhan now, entrepreneur Manhan, to assist whatever they can. Kalau dapat sponsorship, tiket flight pun pergi dah, alhamdulillah. Currently, the boys are paying on their own, inclusive of the family yang nak pergi, benda tu semua. PIBG tolong, kami pun tolong, but it will be better kalau sekiranya we have extra hands lah from our side, benda tu semua. But certainly to you all, not me, because you already help us a lot daripada academic fund. Okay, we are also juara dai kebangsaan untuk Islamiyah. Yes. Just completed in Perlis last week. He is number 1 out of 366 participants. So, tapi don't dare to speak like that. Okay. We also obtained debaters fund from OPA. Thank you very much for the fund. On top of the academic, so sedekah memang banyak. Bola balik yang just completed peringkat daerah, bangsa A, bangsa B, out of 20 players, 14 are from RMC. Okay. And I think this one you all tak tahu kot. We have one guy, Form 4 sekarang ni, Charlie Coy. Of course I'm Charlie. Representing Sukma in Muay Thai. He was juara kebangsaan under 15, and we are helping him in any way that we can, and we believe we can be at least at least champion. Okay. Okay, strategic engagement. Alhamdulillah to this point of time, like tadi few question tentang UPNM kan, sebenarnya itu yang kita tengok on the negative part lah. On the positive part sebenarnya, we actually sebenarnya hand in hand dengan Komandan and also VC OP Mazuki kan. They should set the record 60 applicants from current, novice last Form 5 sir. Daripada 60 applicants, only 12 orang saja diterima masuk. Ya? Yeah? No, SPNM dulu. Sebab kan asasi dulu sekarang ni, kan? 12 orang dia. When we did postmortem sebenarnya, banyak foolish mistake lah. Seorang tersalah declare dia dah kahwin. Walaupun dia bujang. Itu kalau dalam era saya tu tak saya lempang je. Okay. Teruk sangat semua ni. Bagi cak tu semua ni. Okay, seorang declare itu, the rest semua tu diorang tersalah isi orang lah, senang cerita. But the most devastating sebenarnya bila they don't understand tentang the current KPM punya procedure of the merit academics punya qualification. So I went to CBC, I went to see certain people, dekan, everything semua, and we are able to memunikan semua. Now we have 28 novice young OP reported to UPNM on 21st of July. So okay, so we hope sekarang ni the numbers will stay, and I'm in talking term dengan Idris to have this 58 also to enroll to ALK somewhere in February or March next year. Okay, off the record, we are also engaged other strategic partner from various universities. Talking term with UPM, UKM, USM, UMT. Semua ni saya memunikan untuk dapatkan green, I call it green lane lah, green access for those yang excel in certain selected jurusan yang dia nak. But the tie down is, kalau dia ambil asasi kat universiti tu, they will stay at the university for throughout their program. Dari degree ataupun master, I don't care. Yang penting my job is to ensure buka pintu ke uni mana they want it to be. I just came back from Terengganu actually, and we were promised 30 seat untuk high achievers kita lah. Okay, we are also engaging numerous of career talk just to set the pace. Every Friday 14:30, 16:30 is career talk punya allocation slot untuk Form 5 and Form 4. So we allow we will invite people to give talk. Special appreciation for OPA sir, because of your funding from the academic funding of 100 banyak sangat lah the numbers tu. We are able to expand with immersion program. Immersion program is actually we exchange academic tutors talk with the director of the school. I know Kiwi is very happy dapat calon-calon menantu kan, Kiwi kan? Also we have various sports fund and debating. Thank you very much for all the individual hamba Allah yang dah sedekah kepada RMC. Various OP company, I cannot mention nama kami diorang, tapi alhamdulillah macam time kita dulu kita ada cafe kan. Now we don't have cafe sebenarnya. The one-to-one operational exchange program tu doesn't work that way lah. So I have to generate grab stall, which I allow staff-staff dalaman untuk menjual tuan. So pukul 10 malam 10 stall yang akan jual nasi lemak ke burger ke everything semua. Manusia yang paling ganas adalah budak boy. 15 minit di change semua. Sampai saya dapat banyak sangat komplain from mak ayah. Cukup-cukup lah tuan, kami kena transfer masuk ke fund diorang ni every week ni sebenarnya. But budak membesar kan, kita dah go through to that era, so we know that very well. So for those yang CEO, COO company yang ada dalam this forum sebenarnya, personally on behalf of RMC, thank you very much. Anywhere between 6 to 8,000 will be transferred to tabung kami khas untuk putra-putra. So I use that wisely in whatever development fund yang we are putting it through. Above all semua, saya rasa dalam bentuk appreciation ni, I would really be thankful besides the OPA, also PIBG, which is led by my R5 punya buddy-mate, OP Nabil. So itu yang sebenarnya banyak tolong saya hand in hand. Okay, tadi Tuan Pensioner ada mention tentang OPPP. It is locked at 26 October. We have to juggle a bit sebenarnya. We can only conclude the date last month because of the trial dates from KPM has been changing for the last 2-3 months. So we have to squeeze in between trial and HBM itself. So the best date yang we can look into now is on Saturday, 26 October. So please log in your calendar. Okay, tadi there was a question tentang BOG. Yes, Datuk Sri and myself, we is working hand in hand to conduct one retreat. Yes, I promise you, sir, we will do a comprehensive study to evaluate the best platform to regenerate again lah. Either Form 1 or Form 2 untuk masuk always on Form 5. Mandate has been given to Datuk Sri and myself by Datuk Sri KSU Mindef himself. So insyaAllah we will present this paper during next POG, scheduled to be in February next year. Okay, so we will keep you guys posted, and I certainly concur, sir, your proposal tadi. We will keep you guys posted in next AGM meeting or any AGM for any outcome from the POG, so that all of you will be keep posted and we have the same frequency in the milestone or development of RMC itself. Okay, last but not least, just to share one point that I came to know when I stepped in. When RMC was proposed and pushed to shift to new RMC now, it was actually based on our RMK 10 program, 2009. Total amount was actually around 176 million, which was actually approved. But RMC tak pernah dapat duit itu. Kita hanya dapat around 45 million on fasa 1. We got another 20 million dalam fasa 2. For those yang pernah datang RMC baru sekarang, you will see the vast difference. That's why I mentioned just now, it is not one-to-one operational exchange. Never. It was never. Whatever yang tuan-tuan dapat kat luar tu, it is good to be true sebenarnya. Blok-blok pengenapan kita normal macam dulu. Dulu saya ingat saya di TJO, duduk kat court tu sir, kita cari light source sana sini, kita nampak dah semua. Now I cannot do that. My SEO NGO have to berjalan sebab setup dia macam universiti. We don't have sports. We don't have swimming pool. We don't have. Macam apa? Blok PTI dulu kan, yang ada gym, tak ada. We don't have that. Kalau tuan-tuan datang main volleyball kat RMC, saya lagi sanggup buat club fund, sewa kat luar. Malu dengan court. Okay? Now that is on the bad news. On the good news sekarang ni, bila saya korek file, saya jumpa file 2009. So saya dah submit sebenarnya the regenerate of AKA blueprint. Kalau rezeki kita ada tahun ni, penyanyi Datuk Seri KSU dah setuju untuk naikkan ke Manhan untuk minta one off fund somewhere around 75 million sir. If I can get that 75 million, I will have one dual complex of sebelah kanan Padang Rabi, complete dengan track macam UPNM sekarang. Sebelah kiri is padang bola, bahagian bawah is swimming pool untuk kita train budak-budak kita berenang. Saya have to ambil keluar AstroTurf sebabnya tak cukup saiz dah kat padang tu kan, kita ada kabel kan. Kita boleh ada substitute of 2 blok extra kalau kita nak buat apa-apa intention sekalipun. We will have a new Wisma Perwira accommodation untuk staff, guru-guru and staff, to accommodate around 36 orang. We will have a new Wisma Putra untuk dewan makan. We will have a new gym. We will have a new sport complex yang dalam dia ada enhancement program untuk sport excel. And above all the things more, we will have like Datuk Sri President mentioned to me, shall I say, Datuk Sri, can I call for memorial, Datuk Sri? The one that you propose hari itu? Memorial. We will duplicate FMC old block dekat Parikson and we will set up kat belakang RMC. It is in conjunction dengan Tasik, so that kalau nanti kita ada event get together, kita boleh makan kat situ, you have a good view menghadap ke Tasik. So please pray for us so that we can get this 75 million somewhere end of this year or this year, and that will really foster and transform RMC back to what we wish to have what I do really hope so before I sign off from RMC. As far as I'm concerned, dia trade off dengan my timbalan. I requested to stay because initially dia kata tak apalah Azwar, you just go for 1 year cukup lah, you just tick in the box. No, Dr. C, you send me there for a reason. I want to stay there to achieve the reason. So I requested to stay for at least for 2 years. Hopefully I can stay at least minimum for January 2026, and kalau God speak dia benarkan, I certainly wish to stay sampai January 2027, so that I can see 2 batches Form 5 and Form 4 ni grew up in mature form and they successfully enrolled into UPNL. Okay. To me, uncle, rezeki dari Allah ni anywhere. Kan? This my uncle. Yeah. I tahu mak ni. Nanti kan tak boleh masuk rumah ni. Okay, I guess that part tu, I guess alhamdulillah so far as what I saw, kalau rezeki datang untuk my kids dan my son pun dah okay sah. My wife, saya boleh study sampai sekarang, dah good enough rezeki dah. I'm willing to sacrifice my rank at the point of time. I think I'm okay with that. Kan? I achieve my rank 1 star well ahead of time. So to me, for me to get my 2 star 2027 ke 2028 ke, go up there. Tentukan. I'm okay. Yeah. Okay. So any question from the floor? Anything that tadi along the line? I'm willing to answer anything. I will not hide anything.
But you did not touch on the problem of the UPNL issue. What are you going to do about it? We are facing it.
Okay. Okay. To be frank, sebenarnya when actually sebelum masuk the court rayuan sebenarnya, saya OPYB semua kami dah sit down and our think tank team pun dah sit down. To tell you the truth, we couldn't find sebenarnya which batch yang start off dengan isu streka ni. I know semua batch ada, semua batch ada. Tapi we couldn't track sebenarnya pendatang dari mana. Tapi postmortem surgically we knew yang kepala dia OKT 1 lah.
No, I'm not concerned about that. What damage control can we do? How do we protect ourselves?
Okay.
Yeah, important damage control.
The damage control. Yeah. I don't want dah jadi. Nothing can do about it.
Okay, alright.
But what do we do way forward? We are the great RMC. Ini kita buang. Jadi irritating loh. Even like this
Kalau untuk damage control against the public tu sebenarnya I still kept receiving those kind of statements sebenarnya. If you ask me personally, for what our analysis have concluded, it's all about individual. Satu is individual. Cuma unfortunately they are obese. Unfortunately. Keduanya, I'm not being biased tentang batch form 4, form 5 of 2 years but analisis kami menunjukkan those yang went through the 4 and 5 years program, they grew up gradually and they inherited the power, authority gradually along these 4 years. So diorang tak ada sense of aku nak tunjuk aku ni in power, aku tak ada isu yang I'm egoistic bloom like hell untuk tu, as to compare dengan ni, because this batch girls sebenarnya yang form 5 ni, when we sit down, the process sebenarnya bila dia masuk bulan 3, we for the first 9 months is all towards military module. Masuk di form 5, straightway kita dah start dengan SPM diorang. That transformation leadership program tu, we have to celah-celah in between. We cannot have the liberty macam time kami dulu. Benda tu. So when we ask personally the OP yang berada di UPNM, sir, we are not in power. So we are now senior cadet. That was the feedback yang kita dapat. Tapi when we do visiting more intensive research, it is more towards aku Azwa, aku nak tunjuk aku ni lebih power, lebih authoritative. You are Abang Long compared to Kiwi, for example. Itu sebenarnya the baseline. It is not the system yang salah, it's all the individual tu yang salah. But the only part yang system total fail is we do not checkmate on how to curb and mitigate isu-isu macam ni.
Because what I got is dah ada besar tersuk. Is RMC still relevant? This is very dirty.
Yeah,
But when
true
you
that.
start throwing it out at a certain level, why? No, we begin to ask why are you bringing up this issue?
That was the same issue they raised when they closed the funds, SPPTE.
Yeah.
Is it still relevant?
They start up like that. When they start, they
Was
throw
the
the public,
member of the
let
last
the public,
policy?
not knowing anything, we start playing speak out, and it becomes a popular thing. I don't want us to demise because of this.
Sorry.
If I may, for the information of everybody, last year Malay College had the same problem. Malay College had the same problem, and again people went on social media and hentam the college. They said we couldn't be bothered for the legacy, but this is too much. It's about ragging also. It's about ragging. But what I noticed, what the MCK and Mokowa did, they just remained silent. They didn't react. And you know, when they remained silent, all these nasty comments started dying down.
Who muted this? There must be some people.
No, these are all these people who are nothing to keep on honest, you know. So I have a feeling in this case, because this is a court case, let the court process go through and we just remain silent. When you don't respond, you lie. But tapi bila you respond, then they are going to get accepted. So I'm just relaying you what happened in Malay College.
I agree with you. Because we respond together with the excellence in study. We got 40 plus straight A's. So that's me. I mean, it's relevant. It's irrelevant. I mean, we try to prove the other excellency. By that, for this kind of comment, because social media things, it will just move up until they get new issues.
Yeah.
So by extension, for us, just remain silent.
Remain silent.
We concentrate in our excellency.
Yeah, and we run the danger of contempt of court because it's a court ruling. Whatever you do, you can be hantam, right? Okay.
I just want to say one thing. Whatever you kata kat luar tu ada problem, whatever is, people who apply are actually they ask kemana makin ramai, especially the past 2 years. Tak payah cakap when we talk about Rafi. Tahun lepas we heard there's about 250 people masuk interview kata main Rafi. So everybody because of Rafi,
because of education, diorang nak masuk RMC. Ini tak ada isu bagi diorang. I think dia nak tahu.
Okay. Saya sebenarnya minggu lepas baru balik daripada ni. My conversation ni is not recorded kan? Tak kan? Okay, saya just nak share dengan TV, make sure Om jangan lupa Okay. Okay. Sis Uncle dah cakap tadi tu tentang UPNM. Saya just nak share one more. I expect ada issue to come up from UPNM. Lagi ramai OP. Saya ni to alert. My think tank group dah tahu dah tentang this thing. Sebab kita dapat A1 information. You guys recap tentang past 1 week punya popular broadcast tentang isu OP Amirul yang lemas, kan? Okay. There's one lawyer, Datuk, Badan Datuk, dia nak tak nak sebut nama sebenarnya. Sebut juga kan? Okay. He wish to open up the file 2018 and issue FOC to fight for justice for the family. Just for untuk tuan-tuan punya info, prelim information yang kami dapat, suspected OKT ada 20 orang. Daripada 20 orang, 8 orang yang pertama OKT, semua OP. And from the remaining 12, 4 are OPs. So in short, we have 12 out of 20. We cannot reveal anything more than that, but I hope whatever I said yang towards the last ni, kita keep it within this four wall. Saya really honor tuan-tuan senior punya input on that part tu. Saya serve this information as kita anticipate from now on. Media agenda setting memang dahsyat, kan? Dia akan attack kita in 360 angle. Macam tuan mention tadi, saya setuju cara MCKK punya counter react. Macam uncle cakap tadi tu, saya memang setuju pada tu semua. Cuma kita kena take note juga pada masa yang sama, in my position, saya pun kena jaga juga the mindset of 477 families. Itu my greatest challenge lah sebenarnya. They want a rest assurance from me, how to ensure whatever happen kat UPNM tidak berlaku di RMC. A simple way out I can say, kalau anything happen, you make sure yang saya post out. But do we solve the problem? Tak. We won't solve the problem. But I can rest assure, sebenarnya when I first took over, within the first 1 month, there were actually 26 cases being investigated by me dalam masa 30 hari. Semua settle, saya tak ada expel seorang pun. Dengan syarat, they show proof yang they will improve lah. Alhamdulillah, this boy still maintain lagi untuk ambil SPM tahun ni. Okay. Alright, on the last note tuan-tuan, just to share for those yang tak perasan, PKSK untuk pengambilan intake Form 4, 2025, 2026 dah start dah 2 hari lepas. Okay. Again, between this 4 wall, quota of anak-anak OP masih lagi lah. Masih lagi ada. We will still accept benda tu I know there was some report that came to me yang tentang tak elok kan, kita nak cerita tentang benda tu. I think you all tahu apa yang berlaku. But you can have my word, sekarang ni as long as anak-anak kita, cucu-cucu kita achieve the 3 most important gate tu, medical lepas, fitness lepas, and PKSK punya exam lepas, yang lain tu insyaAllah kita boleh memurnikan. Just make sure for the record, tahun lepas untuk intake Form 4 tahun ni, permohonan untuk PKSK was around 8,500 PKSK for the whole ni. Yang memohon untuk RMC sahaja, throw one number, 5,000 orang applied for RMC. So actually KPM had a torrid time jugalah nak pilih, sebab our benchmark we only pick the top 500. So bayangkanlah susunan KSK result tu macam mana. Those yang be selected from the 500 will go to second layer, will be headed by me. And then this group of 350 will be called in at Malbat for selection from pertengahan to end of December this year, and we'll pick the top 300. I hope, and I really do hope, anak-anak saudara, anak-anak tuan-tuan semua terpilih the top 350, then I can do something. Macam itu saya dapat, I have to be sincere, ada seorang anak OP yang saya dapat minta rayuan, position dia 1,550. So kalau saya double standard, saya tarik anak dia masuk, susah nak jawab nanti kalau cerita tu bongkar, betul tak kan? So mohon disseminate this good information to kawan-kawan kita. Just make sure you get yourself, your son ready. Medical fitness, buat siap-siap balik kat luar tu. And your physical fitness, lari, having, sit up, swimming. Macam kita masuk military, sama je benda tu kan. Cuma kita tak ada kejam sampai 4.8 km dengan pack lah. Kita lari 2.4 saja tanpa pack, sport shoe. Okay, right. So sir, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Komandan. The spirit of serve to lead was speaking just now. One more round of applause. Mr. Last agent. Okay, closing remark. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you.
Orang muda-muda belakang, orang yang kurang muda buat ustaz. Ini macam parlimen dah. Oh, macam parlimen dah. Ada dua tiga orang yang saya tugas lah. Aduh gagal. Dalam ekor pun lagi. Ini Rizal.